inside the bubble. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Pushing the Odds being brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage with you every step of the way to provide a seamless mortgage experience. Matt Pacioretty is in the bubble and will play game 1 for the Vegas Golden Knights into the postseason. And look, Vegas to win the Western Conference at plus 200. I haven't fired on that yet, but I'm close, and I'll probably fire that. I do think Vegas is going to wind up winning the Western Conference. I'm not sure if they win the Cup, but I think the Robin Lerner trade is going to be monstrous. I mean, they're minus 350 to win this series, but you look at this, the way that Vegas has performed, their offense is so high potent right now, and you're going to add Max Pacioretty onto this team. They just have a core group of guys that know how to get it done. Alex Tuch had a huge couple of games at the end of the round robin, and Robin Lerner is going to be the guy, and it's wild to think that because Marc-Andre Fleury was the face of the franchise when it launched here in Vegas. And he's a guy who has, Hall of Fame career, incredible talent, but he has not been good. In the second game, he was just flat out bad. And Robin Lerner has given up basically 2 goals a game, and he's won every game he's played for the Vegas Golden Knights since he was traded. He's 9-0. Since being traded to Vegas. And I think he's going to be the guy for them if they go into the playoffs. And the Blackhawks were the team that traded Robin Lerner to the Vegas Golden Knights. So the Blackhawks, I'm sure, didn't think they were going to see their starting goaltender, but that's what happened. And now Vegas has a chance to get a victory, get a good start to the postseason, and then really you start looking around in the Western Conference, and I mean, yeah, okay, they're going to have some tests, they're going to be challenged, and they're not going to walk here right to the Stanley Cup Finals. The St. Louis Blues are still the defending champs, even though they've played really, really poorly. I just think the Vegas Golden Knights are the best team in the Western Conference, and they'll go to the Cup Finals again, where they'll play, and it might be Tampa. I mean, Mike Cole might be on something. It very well might be the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then that's going to be just a wild series if that happens. I still think the better teams are in the Eastern Conference, much like 2 years ago when the Vegas Golden Knights wound up going to the Cup Finals. I mean, they ended up taking on the Capitals, and the Capitals went through many the mountain that was climbed by Washington to get to the Cup Finals was really more difficult than what happened with the Vegas Golden Knights, and it was a 4-1 victory in that series for Washington. A similar thing may happen. I'm not going to bet the Knights to win the Cup, but win the Western Conference, I like that at plus 200. Pushing the odds. More to come.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
You can paint this one purple.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the pirate nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Hello everyone, welcome in to Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here inside the Pirate Radio studios on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington, 1250, 930, PR927FM.com, streaming live there. And you can watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Big show coming your way today. In about 30 minutes, we are planning to hook up with the play-by-play voice of the Carolina Hurricanes, Mike Maniscalco, going to call in, and we will talk about Canes Bruins coming up Tuesday night as the playoffs begin. The Canes won a play-in playoff to get into the playoffs. They'll begin on Tuesday night. We'll talk about that with Mike Maniscalco coming up later on in this hour. Ronnie Woodward going to join us in hour number 2, as will the big man on campus, Jeff Nadu, and Troy D will be here in hour number 3 at 5 o'clock. John Gilbert, the athletics director at ECU, will join us inside the Pirate Radio studios. So a big show on tap and a big start to the show with BB and Ellerbe.
Big start.
Brian Bailey and Jonathan Ellerbe to my left. Hello, guys.
What's up, Clip? How are you? We should have our own group. We call us Big Start.
The Big Start.
The Big Start.
The Big Start.
Big Monday.
Big Monday.
Man,
Yeah,
I hope
those
we
days
get
were
some
nice,
big
weren't
Monday.
they?
I missed some college hoops. Watching some NBA right now. Will there be college football? Let's start there. So, Bailey, you had a show at noon, and I was pretty down. You weren't doing much better.
No, I wasn't.
Things change very quickly, and
they do.
you know, not to
get your hopes
not to
up.
say everything's great, but so earlier today there was a report, and it was from Dan Patrick, who said that his source said the Big Ten had a vote, and 12-2 not to play football, and the two that said we will play is Iowa and Nebraska. Pete Thamel tweeted just about an hour ago that no vote has been held by Big Ten presidents.
Yeah.
And Pete got this information from a Big Ten spokesman. So reportedly that vote was held on Sunday. Pete Thamel says no vote has been held. Where are we right now with college football, with Big Ten, with anything?
Well, this was an article that we posted on the Pirate Radio Twitter page, and it was from an anonymous Power 5 athletic administrator, and I think this kind of sums up college athletics. It was, quote, college athletics is the only multi-billion-dollar business in the world with no leadership structure or decision-making apparatus, and it's been catastrophically exposed. I'm embarrassed to have been a part of this exercise in failed leadership. And, I mean, it's really sums up the world of college athletics. There's a lot of people that can make decisions, but there's not a structure where it's unified for one. And I feel, you know, the Big Ten's out there making news. The Pac-12 is sitting around and seem like waiting to follow. The SEC's just kind of holding steady. I mean, I think they kind of came in early on this and said, look, we're going to push our season start back to September 26th. We're going conference only. And I feel like they've been really kind of, I don't know if they're going to play, but they've kind of been like the only one that's really kind of come up with a solid plan of like, not this moving dates around and just kind of like, hey, here's where we're holding firm at right now. But I do feel like this kind of sums up the best of what it is like in the world of college athletics.
It's almost, you wonder why the Pac-12 is in bed with the Big Ten, but that's what it seems like, and it seems like there's going to be a battle with those two in the Power 5 and the rest of the Power 5. Somebody from the ACC tweeted out about an hour ago that the people that they have talked to said, hey, we're moving forward.
Well, the good news about there being no leadership in college football is just because one drops doesn't mean they all have to drop. So there's glass half full
and bad
of no leadership.
Well, and where we are positioned here in North Carolina and in the South with, you know, East Carolina obviously number one, and then the ACC, SEC, you know, when the Big 10 and Big Pac-12 say, everyone around here is like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean.
Well, I hope so.
I mean, for right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if everything, I mean, if the NFL came out today and the NFC East said, "Oh, we're not playing football this year," I mean, you two right now might be a little bit more agitated, you know. But I mean, they're unified as the NFL, and they're coming up with hopefully a protocol to have their season played. But the college football thing is bizarre, and the thing I think that makes it bizarre and there's so many debates, so many topics of where to go because East Carolina started classes today. East Carolina had thousands of college students move into dorms where it's high dense living,
right?
You know, I mean, and so I mean, there's so many factors. If it's safe for them to live in dorms, is it safe for the football team to practice? There's a lot of different, and the other big thing that's come about of all this too is all of a sudden that the college players seem to be unified of that they want a piece of the pie.
Yes, they want to play, and and there are some stipulations that go along with that.
And look, we've talked about it for years on Pirate Radio, the craziness. Even we've watched the conference carousel go on, and everybody moving around this and that, and the money that's been thrown around at coaches and schools and television deals and stuff. And you've seen it, and it's finally come to a halt. Of the players are like, you know what? We need a piece of the action now.
Now, but here at ECU, we have no money, right? So what does that mean for schools like East Carolina? It's fine for Trevor
question.
Lawrence to want a little salary, and Clemson can probably afford to pay it.
But the problem is as Bailey, as you know, is Title IX.
Right.
How all of a sudden, look, the football players do provide all the income for a majority of these schools, and some basketball programs, Kentucky, Duke, other places make a ton of money for their schools. But how do you come up with a structure where, especially all these public institutions that get state funds and dollars from the government, all of a sudden how do you start paying players, and then the whole Title IX thing comes in because all of a sudden the women's basketball player, the women's tennis player, and the women's volleyball player want some money too.
Well, let me get back to something else you talked about with students on campus. If schools were like ECU was going online only, and we were having this debate about should we be playing football, okay, you kind of understand that, but with students here, I think it's much safer for the football players to have a football season than to not when it comes to COVID concerns.
And a couple of people have brought that up, throughout the day on Twitter and stuff, that the players are a lot safer because they're being tested, once a week, and they know, what's going on. And if somebody does test positive, they're protected there. And
they still have to do their part.
Right.
And not intermingle with everybody, which is going to be tough to do and probably not going to be done by a lot of those players, unfortunately. But it is, if your concern is COVID, it is much safer for them to have a structure of college football than not. I agree. I think 100%. That's pretty easy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All the medical personnel around and everything, and if you do, you hope you don't, but if you do, get the COVID-19, you have the best, you're taken care of. I mean, you got doctors and staff, and so you got to think that's part of the equation too. I just can't imagine a year without college football, but I guess it's a big chance.
The whole thing has just been bizarro, and I thought all along that I thought the American. I stand back that we don't know if the SEC is going to play football, but I feel like they have the best path forward because of what they did it with conference only. And I thought the American would, and I thought other conferences would go conference only. But I mean, after reading a little bit about it, and the American may be in the situation that they owe ESPN a certain amount of inventory that they must provide for ESPN Plus to fulfill their television contracts. And so that's why the American, really, I can't go to just a 10-game schedule for everybody, even though it works out perfectly 5-5, because they need those teams. The East Carolina Marshall game needs to be an ESPN property. So they have to fulfill a certain number of games to ESPN to fulfill, I guess, their television contract, which would be a great question for John Gilbert when he's on in hour 3 later today. So I think there's a lot of question, and it really comes back to dollars and cents.
It does, and the MAC is not playing, whereas it makes a lot more sense financially for the SEC to go out there than the MAC, right?
Well, the
MAC play football.
Well, the MAC's just like the Ivy School. Once they lost all their guaranteed games and they realized we all know, we've all watched MACtion on every night of the week, and they don't draw fans, and so the financials aspect of it doesn't make sense. So it may make sense at some of these bigger programs to be able to pull it off with the television deals, and the SEC may have it figured out because they're really, I think, I think the SEC network's probably the only successful one on its own. I don't know what the numbers are on the Big Ten network.
Is there still a Longhorn network with Texas?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, ESPN's just got to be bleeding dollars from what they have obligated to all these college conferences and stuff. And you just wonder what kind of reform, because you hear the talks now that with the Big Ten canceling today, Bailey, is Nebraska has a game plan of their own to maybe go back to the Big 12. I mean, is it a time that does college football get under one umbrella? And can that straw be broken?
Yeah. I think you're going to see, if the Big Ten does in fact go with not playing, I think some of those schools are going to bolt for at least a year, or try to anyway.
I mean, there's been some, and I don't even know what I'm looking at, and what to believe and what not to believe, but that the SEC is trying to maybe poach some schools for a super conference for one season only type of thing.
And look, player poaching too. There's, I mean, don't throw that out there as well. I mean, there's been rumors and reports that, hey, look, we're open.
Yeah,
we're open for business. Come on down. So I wouldn't be so. This is just a craziness of college athletics. And look, when if a Nebraska says, well, we got plans to play football, does that mean they have plans for all their other sports to play in a Big 12 schedule or an SEC schedule or what? I mean, because yet again, I think there's got to be some sort of Title IX implications and other stuff, and it really shows you how powerless the NCAA is.
It does, and back to the money thing, Bailey, you touched on it with John Gilbert of, okay, if you have a season with no fans, what does that mean? And if you don't have a season, what does that mean, financially speaking? And obviously there's some revenues if you do have a season that you won't get if you don't, but that's something I want to kind of hit back on too when he joins us in the 5 o'clock hour, because, what if it's better financially for ECU not to play?
I don't think it is. From what he said, with no revenue streams at all, at least if you play with limited fans, you got
it would be better
revenue.
than
you got some things that you will get some revenue streams out of, but it's really disheartening when you think about, last year this time the only thing that you were concerned about was how many fans are going to come to the game. And now you're concerned about, can fans come? Will they come? And now for the future, you're wondering, are fans going to, feel safe coming to a game and been in a big crowd? Some people, I think, are going to be like, they don't want to get in big crowds, even a year from now.
Is the fan conversation really front and center right now? I mean, because you really have to focus on whether you can play the game.
I mean, front and center. No.
Yeah, I mean, it really, to me, if I'm John Gilbert or an AD at some school, that's like the furthest thing.
Well, that's what I'm talking about when I say if they play games, there's not going to be fans.
Right.
So how is that financially as opposed to not putting on a game at all?
Yeah.
I think, you get some money from the television contracts, and I guess you got to run the numbers of what it costs to, and then if you don't have a season or if you don't have all fall sports, do you furlough all those coaches and administrators and stuff?
Have you already gotten that money? I'm saying that money's probably already spent by ECU.
Which money? The TV money?
Yeah.
I don't know, because new TV.
When does that check clear?
Well, that's a great question in hour 3 today. When does the television money from this new deal kick
ESPN
in?
Plus?
Do they pay it up front? Do they pay it monthly? I mean, it's how do they? Because I think it gets back to some of the conversations that I was talking about earlier, the articles I was reading, that they have to supply X number of games of inventory, and if they can't fulfill that, then that's why I think the American Athletic Conference Commissioner, Mike Oresco, was leaving the window open for American teams to play 12 games.
Yeah.
Because we can get that noon game on ESPN Plus somewhere in the schedule. And I heard Gilbert on the your show earlier, Bailey, and it's like they're shooting for maybe that September 12th for the Marshall game. Well, phase 2. It is supposed to be reevaluated by September 11th or extended to that point now. So, I mean, to me, that's where the whole fan thing comes off the table, because there's no way they can ever plan to have fans in the stands for September 12th if there's a football game possibly that day.
Looking at Facebook Live, Melvin says of the players that tested positive for ECU, have any been to the hospital? And, he says, I think athletes are pretty safe even if they get it. And then Derek, who actually said before this, almost as a response to that, Power 5 schools are fearful of lawsuits from top athletes, and how much liability do the schools have and the football programs have if something tragic does happen.
Well, and that's the difference between amateur sports and professional sports is these players are playing for scholarships and I guess their cost of attendance, and I guess that could be a concern if you're a university, that these players could. I guess the bigger question is, do you want to play sports and deal with the potential that people can get and test positive for COVID-19, and then that you could potentially forfeit games, players could get sick, players could get quarantined. I mean, there's a scale of what the risk and reward are, and we're seeing it some in Major League Baseball with the Cardinals and the Marlins, and the bubble thing is obviously proven to work for the NBA, but it doesn't seem it's not possible for college athletics and on any level, and I don't know if it's really possible for the NFL or even Major League Baseball, I guess.
Bailey, it looks like they're going to go forward with a regular NFL season. I was thinking about a NFL division bubble where you have 4 teams at one place, play each other twice, and do it like World Cup style, where you get points if you win and stuff like that. But I guess the NFL, look, Hard Knocks is tomorrow, Ellerbe. I don't even know what it's going to look like.
Can you play the music?
Shirley, can we get some Hard Knocks going?
Hey, Clip, what if your division bubble, what if they just moved around and they all played in Cowboy Stadium, and then they moved to Washington?
I don't like that. Okay.
Then they moved to New York. They just kind of moved around, and that's the only game.
And play 3 times. Play 3,
or 4 times.
Do a whole schedule. Well, 4 times. 4 Cowboys Washington football team matchups, Bailey.
The only team.
It's hard for you to say it that way, isn't it?
I know.
4 Cowboys.
It takes a long time. Yeah. I don't know what the NFL. I guess the NFL is going to try to go business as usual.
That's what they're saying.
Does any of this, you think, impact the NFL? I mean, it's a completely different
for sure.
You think it does?
Because I think one of the things the NFL is going to try to do is, if college football is canceled, they're going to move up those games Saturdays and Fridays, and
I mean, it's not playing.
No, I don't think it's not playing. I think they're playing.
Well, that's going to be a positive, I think, if they can play all throughout the weekend.
Oh yeah.
So
they should play every night of the week.
The NFL.
Forget the MAC.
The NFL at 1-4 on Saturday and Saturday night football.
Oh God, the Washington football team are going to get those Wednesday night games, aren't they? Those crap games. Yeah.
The Washington team has been relegated to the MACtion schedule.
I think so. Yeah.
But I mean, what if you? I mean, if you had that on, you had a mix of Saturday and Sunday games at 1-4, and then a primetime game Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. And maybe, I mean, to me, do you scrap the Thursday night football if Saturday's available if you're the NFL?
Probably not.
Well,
they'd probably go all.
I'd say probably still is a good idea, but they probably go.
If you give NBC or Fox, I don't know who has that game, the Saturday night time slot, wouldn't that be more valuable than Thursday night?
I was watching something today that said there's something in the NFL TV charter or something that says they don't play on Friday nights unless they have a special waiver of some sort. Because remember they had a hurricane coming in Miami, and Miami moved the game to a Friday night and had to get special permission to do that. But I think they could move them to Friday. If we don't have high school football, it'd be touchdown Friday, the Washington football team. And we're not talking the Pan Pack.
And Melvin points out it will impact the draft. I mean, sure. And when we talk about, if who's trying to go to the spring football model, the MAC actually said they're going to try to do that. Wow. And I don't see that happening. I don't know how you have 2 football seasons in 1 calendar year.
I don't see spring football in the colleges, but I mean, I didn't see anything that's happened in the last 5 months either.
Yeah.
The one thing I have thought about a lot, which really broke last week, was the rock buying the XFL. I mean, the one thing that there's not a minor league football team program really right now. And is it possible that the XFL has a huge opportunity to develop players for the NFL other than, I mean, I don't know if, obviously I don't think high school players can go directly to the XFL and begin to compete. What if high school players had an opportunity to go to a junior college for a year or two and then go to the XFL? I mean, the XFL, I think, if The Rock, which he seems to be a pretty savvy business person, that there's an opportunity here for the XFL. I'm not saying
we do this every time. I know what you're saying, but the XFL dies and then sits up like the Undertaker every time.
I know, but if the college can't figure out how to pay the players, then all of a sudden the XFL has an opportunity. It's harder for football to do it versus the G League and the NBA to get the high schoolers to go straight to the G League and pay them. But there could be an opportunity that the XFL, because the XFL was pretty popular this past go around.
Let me tell you something. It's gotten so crazy. Like the high schools, haven't announced what they're going to do, but it's looking more and more doubtful that they're going to play football in the fall. So I dreamed I was at Clark LeClaire Stadium going live with Cliff Godwin before a game, and I threw it to Noah Knight for a preview of the Conley Rose football game. And that was, I woke up, I was like, what month is it? What day? What's going on?
Some guys dream about women and a lot of money, and Bailey dreams about a big night of sports.
It was.
I like it.
Hey, it was a big night.
Yeah. Speaking of high school football, Todd Lipe, Aiden Grifton football coach, going to join us in studio coming up Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Just confirmed that.
Good.
So, where I've been talking to these guys who have been, we mentioned it earlier, Bailey, that they have been getting the work in, and there is no carrot at the end of the stick. They just keep on running on the treadmill. It doesn't end. They're getting ready for something. What are they getting ready for?
Man, we don't know. And I've heard different things. I think we talked about it earlier. Heard a model that said the high school football might go November, December, and January, which I don't understand at all. They may try to move it to the spring. It's just hard to get. If you move it to the spring, you got baseball to worry about, you got basketball to worry about. These 1A and 2A schools, they don't have the athletes to play. You got to play every sport if you're in a 1A or 2A school. So it'll be interesting to see what the North Carolina High School League. They say they hope to know something by August 17th.
My nephew is going to be a senior in high school in the Fuquay area, and he made his varsity baseball team last year, and they played 3 games.
Yeah.
And he never got in a game as a junior, and then now his senior year, he's gotten a few offers from some D3 schools to go play baseball. So he may go play college baseball and never play, never
see a pitch,
may not have a varsity stat at his high school. I mean, it's just kind of the crazy things that you think about. The same thing with my son, who's getting ready to go to middle school and start, the every other week thing. He's going to go to middle school for the first time and go for the first time wearing a mask and not knowing really where to go.
Oh, that's going to be scary.
I know. So, there's just this new 2020 way is just creating so many different worlds.
No, they really don't put people in lockers, the young kids, and lock them in there. They really don't do that. That's just a rumor.
I got it. I'll pass around Uncle Bailey.
Well, not now with distancing.
That's right.
It's not allowed.
Yeah.
They might put you they might put you 6 feet under somehow. But
Zach Maskovich, your old number 2 at Channel 9, has still not gone in his building.
Really?
And he's been working all that time. He said he still hadn't been in there. You've been broadcasting from the man cave. You said you might be going back soon, right?
Yeah, I talked to my news director this week, and he gave me the option this week. I'm going to be off Thursday and Friday for some things I'm going to take care of, but I'm going to go back on Monday next week to the studio. So.
And by the way,
it's also Mafias-like, Bailey. Things I got to take care of. After you just were talking about putting people in lockers.
Does that Nolan guy know anything about sports? Nolan Knight?
What did he say now?
Well, he's coming in tomorrow at 3, so I hope he knows what he's talking about.
Good, yeah. He's a good guy.
We'll check in with Nolan Knight.
If he'll just listen to me every once in a while, he's a good guy.
He'll be doing all right.
Yeah, be fine.
That's all they got to do, right? How you feeling, Bailey? How's your your roller coaster?
It's on the upside after. It was down all the way.
It was way down
this morning because I just thought, man, the college football season.
Was it the Old Dominion news that you hit rock bottom on?
No, that didn't throw me off, but. This, I know how hard those guys are working. We know the players at East Carolina, and you just want things to be normal again. You want to go to, none of this is going to happen this year, but you want to go back to where you can tailgate, where you can go. I looked at my Facebook feed today, and some of the things came up with the Pirate Radio party. Yeah. It was coming up, and Touchdown Friday, our promo came up, and none of that's happening.
I just need y'all to tell me that if the Big Ten and Pac-12 don't play, it does not necessarily. The Big 12, the ACC, and the AAC won't play.
It sounds like they might still.
Clip, you know how you always hear that when basketball teams have these secret scrimmages? I could see Alabama just having secret games. So
I could too.
Can we watch them?
In an underground bunker.
They may pay you like $400,000 to come play them.
Are they on some weird feed we can pick up on the dark web?
Your secret channel you used to watch the Hornets games.
Oh, yeah. Bailey, they'll be on that old Suddenlink channel.
121.
And low def.
Yeah, low def.
Alabama ECU in standard definition.
Yeah. Would you go back to dial-up and low def if you could get college sports?
Would you go back to Prodigy? Remember Prodigy?
Yeah.
As your sign in? For the internet? Yeah.
I'd do whatever it takes at this point.
Me too.
So hopefully we can get it. Bailey, what you got coming up this week? You got Hurricanes, right?
Hurricanes play tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, so that's going to be good for us all. Panthers still in camp, so that's something to keep up with. Waiting on the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. That decision will come out pretty soon. Going to go Thursday to Pinehurst. I'm going to meet Gibby down there, Todd Gibson. We're going to play a little golf. Rhino's going to go with us. So
is that the things you got to take care of?
That's one of the things I got to take care of. And the other thing I got to take care of is Caitlin's going to go to the beach, so she's bringing her 9-month-old, and old Pops is keeping the 9-month-old for the weekend.
Wow.
Sounds good.
Yeah. That'll be an exciting report next week.
It'll be fun.
Ellerbe, another new wrinkle. We've been doing a lot of new things here at Pirate Radio since the college sports hiatus, but another new wrinkle will be the Pirate Radio podcast coming out soon, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This week, had a chance to do the first one and talk to Damon West. I mentioned him last week on this program. He is the motivational speaker and author that I read his book. It's The Change Agent, How a Former College Quarterback Sentenced to a Life in Prison Transformed His Life. He did hard time. He has since been paroled. He has talked to a lot of the big college football programs like Clemson, Alabama, and Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma. So he's a motivational speaker. He got hooked on crystal meth, and it basically ruined his life, and he went to jail, but he says it saved his life. And we'll have that story coming one day this week. We'll give you the details later on, but it's a fascinating story. It's an amazing book. If you get a chance, we'll link it out when we hook up the podcast. We'll be doing it digitally, and we'll also be running that on the air somewhere as well. But we'll have that coming to the airwaves very soon.
Sounds good. Got the re-airing of the Brian Bailey Show at 6
o'clock.
Sure. So if you like Bailey, myself, and John Gilbert, we got a treat for you.
We're on
5 and 6 o'clock. It's just a nonstop block.
I forgot about that. Yeah, it'll be 5 and 6. So.
We're going all John Gilbert coming up in the 5 and 6 o'clock hour. But Bailey, thanks for hanging out, man.
I appreciate it.
Enjoyed
Thank you.
Ellerbe, enjoyed it.
See you next time.
We will take a time out, come back planning to hook up with Mike Maniscalco on the other side. The Hurricanes play-by-play announcer. Talk some hockey. Canes Bruins Game 1 coming up on Tuesday night. We'll be back with more on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Are your workouts more fun than this? Well, if they are, Then I want to sign you to an endorsement deal with Michelob Ultra. I'm looking for anyone and everyone who makes working out a blast. If that's you, head to teamultra.com for a chance to score awesome perks like Team Ultra gear and more. That's teamultra.com to enter.
No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus. See official rules at teamultra.com. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a two-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
You know texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
The Frowls family lives on a lush piece of land called Greener Pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frowls family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at qualityequip.com.
We're midway through bath time, and 2 medium, 2-topping Domino's pizzas for $5.99 each have begun their drive to the Smith's front door. That's a GPS-enabled custom delivery alert, folks. The newest improvement to the Domino's tracker, saying Domino's will be there in 2 minutes. They're calling it audible. Bath time's now rinse time. They've got 1 kid dry, 2 kids dry. The pizzas are here. They made it to the door. The kids are clean enough. The new Domino's tracker with GPS worked again.
2 item minimum. Pan pizza will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685842. Equal housing lender. All right, in studio today with Wanda Montano, an East Carolina graduate and the new executive director of the Rocking Horse Ranch. Wanda, welcome. Tell us what's going on.
Rocking Horse is a wonderful nonprofit serving the community and providing therapeutic riding lessons and equine therapy for our students. We're having a lot of fun out at Rocking Horse Ranch, getting ready to reopen over the course of the summer, and we have lots of things planned for our clients to come back in. We're going to do a fundraiser in November, so save the date for November the 14th.
To learn more, visit rhrnc.com.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs, 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity, next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Hey, it's easy to see mosquitoes and fire ants, but don't forget about moisture and termites destroying your home underneath. Visit the professionals at PestTech online at pesttechofgreenville.com for all of your pest control needs. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thank you very much, Shirley Rhodes. Welcome back into Pirate Radio Live here on a Monday. A lot more to go, a lot more ECU and college football talk to come on today's show. But let's talk about the Carolina Hurricanes getting ready for some more playoff hockey coming up on Tuesday night as they begin their series with the Boston Bruins. And very happy to have joining us on the Fixed NC Live line the play-by-play voice of the Carolina Hurricanes. He is Mike Maniscalco joining us today on the program. Mike, how you doing?
Clip, I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Especially after that qualifying round series by the Canes, things are pretty good.
That was fantastic. A quick 3-0 sweep for Carolina over the New York Rangers. And now, Mike, you just wonder, have they been off too long? Are they going to be rusty? What kind of work have they here during these off times?
Oh, that is going to be the million-dollar question. But, they've treated it just like practice, other than that they've been on the road for a long time and they're still living in the bubble in Toronto. But they haven't changed any of the things that they were doing as far as preparation goes when they got up there. It's just, can you stay sharp waiting to play a game? But if there's a coaching staff in the league that can keep their players on their toes, it's what Rod Brindamore and his staff can do. The team knows what's expected of them, and they're practicing. They're going through the routine, and I guess the tough part is keeping the boredom in when you're not on the ice, or keeping the boredom from setting in when you're not on the ice. But they've been doing that from all the reports that I've been given, that they're actually having as much fun as you possibly can in a situation where it doesn't seem to be that much fun away from home for this long.
Mike Maniscalco joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Want to get back to the Canes and the ice in a moment, but let's talk about you for a minute, Mike, and doing the radio broadcast and now doing the television broadcast with Trip Tracy. How has this time been for you as a play-by-play announcer? Not exactly right there at the rink in the action. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's a little strange, Clip. You want to be in the arena, but calling the game off of a monitor is not the most ideal setup, especially for my TV debut to do play-by-play. But as the games have moved on, you kind of get into a rhythm, and you kind of find the things that that you're looking for when you're making the calls, and everything gets settled in. But for the most part, working with Tripp and the crew that we have, it's honestly the best crew in the league that I've got to work with. The guys behind the scenes for Fox Sports Carolinas are absolutely amazing. So, once you get your feet on the ground and kind of figure out, you're just calling a game, you turn into when, we were little kids, when we'd call the game, you turn down the sound and call the games ourselves. It's kind of turned into that for me, and it's been an absolute blast. And, of course, I kind of already hinted at it. If the Canes keep giving highlights like this, it makes my job a heck of a lot easier.
What is this wizardry, I believe was the call on Aho's goal? That was fantastic, Mike. And it's such a family atmosphere. I was able to go to my first Canes game. I'm kind of ashamed to say it, but my first live game just last season, and was able to go to a playoff game too. But beforehand, you're out in the concourse, and you're doing live shots, you're doing spots, and I did not reach and grab you and say, hey, Mike, enjoy your work. But there's a lot of fans going by you, talking to you, and it really is a family atmosphere. And what kind of feedback have you received, Mike, since you started taking over the play-by-play duties on TV?
For the most part, it's been really positive. But I am heeding the advice of several wise people. Don't read the comments. So, I've gotten a lot of really nice things, friends and family through text, and when I am on social media, the feedback has been tremendous, and the fans here are great. The Caniacs are awesome, Clip, and it is a big family here, and I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times. Hockey is the one sport where anybody who's ever said, I don't like that, or it's this, and I said, have you ever been to a game? And when they say no, I'm like, just go to a game. If you go to a game and tell me you don't like it, then that's fine, but like you said, you go there, you get caught up into it, you get caught up in the environment, the action, everything that comes with it. And, the fans here have been so great to me, going all the way back to when I took over the radio pregame and postgame, and that's about a million years ago. But it's just one of these things where I'm living the dream, and I think that a lot of people kind of appreciate that, and I appreciate I've been given this shot to do it, and it's been great. And hopefully the Canes can give me 16 more wins to call for all the fans out there, and we'll see what happens.
And man, they seem primed and ready to go once that series began with the Rangers. And Mike, maybe even more positive news coming that they did get healthier during this hockey hiatus, and they're hoping to get Dougie Hamilton back. What's the latest on him?
He skated with the team at practice today. Of course, tomorrow is going to be a really important day to see how he responds from practice from today to tomorrow to get ready for Game 1 against the Bruins. But all signs are, even if he doesn't go for Game 1, that we should see Dougie Hamilton return to the Carolina Hurricanes lineup at some point in this first-round series against the Bruins. So that takes a deep blue line and makes the Carolina Hurricanes defensive core even more dangerous than what it was.
And I say this to everyone I talk to about the Canes. We had David Glenn on a few weeks ago in studio here. Wade Minter joined me on the show last week, PA announcer there at PNC, and even our resident hockey fan, intern Brooks, that it seems like the Canes are set up with long-term success with all their youth, with Svechnikov and Aho, and then you've got, of course, Mr. Game 7, Justin Williams, to add some veteran leadership there. But it seems like they are a team of the now and the future, Mike. Do you agree with that, with all the different parts and pieces they have on this roster?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just take a look at the average age of this team, and even with Mr. Game 7, who thinks that 38 years old is old, it's not. I've told him that several times. And Justin Williams, this is, I think, one of the, if they're not the fourth, they're the fifth youngest team on average in the league. So you look at everything that they're accomplishing and everything that they're doing, it's just adding more to the resume and more experience that's going to help them out as they build down the future. And now it's a winning culture that they're handing down for the new guys who walk into the locker room of this is what's expected for them. And the young players are picking up on that. And that all starts with head coach Rod Brindamore. And for me, Clip, that's the biggest reason why this team has this bright future and is on this trajectory right now of going up, because of what Rod has been able to instill. And then, yes, the talent level has to be important when you can get players like Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov, and then I think that we kind of take for granted some of the other guys who have come up through the ranks and have started to fill into the roles, where when you can add talent at the top of your lineup, it kind of slots other players into roles that are more suited for them or better suited for them. So you're seeing, a player like Brock McGinn really find his role on an energy line, and Warren Fogle being able to contribute on that line with Justin Williams and Jordan Stahl. So yeah, everything for this team is all signs are pointing upwards. And then I haven't even talked about how good they are on the blue line, where they traded an all-star in Justin Falk because of the dearth that they have, and that's a good thing. So you just keep running down how this team is patterned. There's no reason to believe that they cannot not only get the job done and can go on a long run this year, but for years to come.
Mike Maniscalco joining us on the program today, and Mike, but I want to ask you this before I let you go. I don't want to forget. Trip Tracy, I love his phrases, his enthusiasm, his zest for life and for hockey. What is that guy like off the air, Mike? Is he the same guy we see and hear on the air?
The exact person you hear on the air and see on the air is the exact person off of it. He is one of the most genuine people I have ever been around. Like, people ask that a lot. I'm like, no, what you see with Trip is what you get. He's never met a stranger, Clip, ever. Right. Everybody is a great friend or going to be a great friend, and he is a pleasure to work with. He just truly is. To be around him every day, and just, he's got such a passion for this and for hockey and for the Hurricanes. It's infectious in the best way. I know that we got to be cautious with some words that we use now, but it's the good kind. He gets you fired up to do the games and to be around, and he is just an authentic human being. And I am lucky that for stepping in the circumstance that I have Trip Tracy to lean on as the on-air analyst and the broadcast partner, because he's one of those guys who makes life easy for everybody around him.
Well, finally, Mike, man, last year's run was awesome. The Capitals, the quick series against the Islanders, and everybody was on board except the big bad Bruins. So how do we change that this year? How do we get the better of Boston? What are a few keys to this series, in your opinion?
You got to stay out of the penalty box against Boston. Even though the Bruins didn't look good in their round-robin play, their top line is so dangerous with Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand, and Vincent Pasternak, and you take a look at or David Pasternak, I should say. I should get it right as I'm putting all the rosters together. So my eyes are getting cross-eyed. But you look at what these guys can do. If you give them an inch, that line takes a mile, and that's why you can't give them any extra room on the power play. So it's got to start with a special teams battle, and the Canes were outstanding on the penalty kill against the Rangers. They need to do that against the Bruins. They've got to get the exact same goaltending they got against the Rangers. It doesn't have to be all world, but it has to be good when they need it, and they got that out of Mrazek and Reimer, especially James Reimer in that Game 3 against the Rangers, how incredible he was just giving up one goal. He was just locked in and has been dialed in. And then the other thing, you got to get scoring from guys other than Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen, and Andrei Svechnikov. You've got to get that, we like to call it secondary scoring. somebody's got to step up and pitch in some goals to take the pressure off of them. And if the Canes can get those things, I get the feeling they can flip the script. Maybe not a sweep. I don't think these two teams are too good, both of them, to be swept by the other. But if the Canes do that, it's probably going to be enough to flip the script from last year from the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mike Maniscalco joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Mike, what is the TV schedule when it comes to Fox Sports Carolinas? Are you guys going to be able to call it all the way through? What's that like?
We have all of the games except for when NBC, the national, steps in, and we have Tuesday and Thursday, and Saturday, I believe, is going to be NBC's call only, so it will not be on Fox Sports Carolinas on Saturday, but as long as it's not on NBC, it will be on Fox Sports Carolinas the whole way.
10-4, awesome stuff. Mike, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time today, talking some Canes hockey with us, and have a great call on Tuesday night, and hopefully we can talk to you again down the road.
Thanks a lot, Clip. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike. There's Mike Maniscalco, play-by-play voice of the Carolina Hurricanes, joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Canes will go at it Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 o'clock. They have an afternoon face-off coming up this weekend on Saturday. They'll play Game 4 on Monday, and a potential Game 5 would be next Wednesday. So a lot of Hurricanes playoff hockey on tap, and, man, it was fun to watch them sweep the Rangers. We'll see what they can do against the Bruins beginning on Tuesday night. We'll take a timeout, come back, and have more for you on Pirate Radio Live. Ronnie Woodward joins us when we return after this.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And the drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
You've probably heard a lot about CBD. The leading provider of CBD is Your CBD Store Greenville. Their staff is committed to creating a comfortable environment to ensure every customer gets the exact treatment they need. Our franchise is the largest CBD retailer in the country, and with trained PhD chemists and direct communications with health leaders across our network of stores, Your CBD Store Greenville has the highest quality all-natural products. Your CBD Store Greenville in Arlington Village next to Duck Donuts, where good health hits home.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Cadillac. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, save over $15,000 off on all new 2020 Cadillac Escalades. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Do you think you or your employees might have been exposed to COVID-19? Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy employer solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
Got big dreams for your small business? You're not alone. The Gavigan Agency Insurance Services is a growing business too. That's why they work with Nationwide, the #1 small total business insurer in the U.S. Nationwide can help protect and grow your business so you can focus on making your small business dreams come true. Give the Gavigan Agency Insurance Services a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
It's almost quitting time, but your family's hunger is gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could drop a big bow box on it. Because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, you can clock out and spend some quality time with a delicious dinner. Now when it comes to sneaking a biscuit on the drive home, that's all you. Bojangles, it's bow time.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back to the show. Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Do you think your employees might have been exposed? Well, Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral is needed, and same-day results are available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Biden Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or just walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville. Give them a call at 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Rock.
All right, thank you very much, Shirley Rhodes. Welcome back into the program, hour number 1 here of the show. Great to chat with Mike Maniscalco a moment ago, play-by-play voice of the Hurricanes. Looking forward to Canes and Bruins coming up Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. So that'll be something we can follow. Got a little NBA action going on now, Suns and Thunder. And Ronnie Woodward joining me inside the Pirate Radio studios, who is yet to watch NBA. And now this game's at halftime, so you still haven't watched any NBA.
I'm getting there. Yeah. We're watching the top 10 plays, though.
Yeah.
This is good.
How about some Ja Morant action?
Ja Morant. I saw this earlier,
Throw it down. You watched your Nationals lose to the Orioles over the weekend.
Man. Scherzer gets hurt. Swept by the O's, last place in the NL East.
Well, I guess technically swept, but they are going to pick up a game Friday at Camden Yards in the 6th inning, and then play a 9-inning game. So
the O's are winning, though.
And I don't know. It's kind of a weird deal. All right, well, Ronnie, we will talk about what's going on in college football.
Okay.
I saw you tweet. Will ECU be the only team in the country that has a scrimmage?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good question, because as far as you know, they're the only team that has so far.
Marshall didn't scrimmage Saturday.
Okay.
Once the Friday Marshall ECU game got pushed back, basically, not officially, but, working toward another date, which I guess doesn't even matter at this point, I guess. I don't know. But
Wait. What do you say? How are you feeling about all this?
Not great, but I don't know.
I feel better at 3:49 p.m. than I did at 10:30 a.m.
For sure.
I still I'm just holding out hope that, like I said on Bailey's show, the dominoes are falling, like with MAC to Big Ten to Pac-12. But I hope there's enough space that when those dominoes fall, like the SEC and the AAC and other conferences are still standing.
I want to still play.
I hope so.
I think there's a shot. You know, I don't know. I mean,
that's the good part about not having a leader, right?
Yes, I agree. Like I was just telling Troy and them. I've always thought the NCAA needs one voice, one leader. It's a pretty lazy argument or stance, and I still kind of think it is. But this could be a positive to that. It's not like NCAA chairman Joe Smith or whatever said, all right, everybody's out or everybody's
Mark
in.
Emmert shut down the tournament.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. So I guess they still could.
No, but I'm saying he can't do that with football. Like he can't.
Yeah. There's no, like ESPN owns the playoff pretty much.
Yeah.
The conferences are kind of on their own. So Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a chance the Big 12 could, or the Big 10 could say, we're not going to play. It really, to me, it comes down to the Big 10 versus the SEC. The SEC says, all right, we're going to hold strong, we're going to try. Maybe there's some support.
And what if only the SEC plays? I told Glenn earlier, how about a doubleheader of Georgia, Arkansas at 3:30, and then at 7 o'clock it's Steelers Ravens?
Yeah,
because the NFL is going to take over the Saturday night. So,
or what if the American only plays? What if they're like, hey, Power 6, baby?
Mike Oresco,
we're going to be the one league to do it.
He's a leader, not a follower, right?
So I don't know. Maybe somebody does. Whether that, I mean, yeah, it's probably doubtful. But I think if the SEC at least holds out hope, there will be some followers.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's the best play at this point.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Nope.
I know Io's a big fan.
Yeah.
So there were issues, drama going on, like everyday drama, like who's going to be the king. I'm going to kill that guy's family. He's going to kill mine. Those are like your day-to-day dramas going on.
Okay.
Then there was the undead zombie skeleton thingies are coming to kill all of us. Like, they don't care if we don't like each other. They're going to kill both of us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Survivor.
And I didn't like that because it kind of made the day-to-day drama meaningless. That, these things are going to wipe us out anyway. So, should we talk about the scrimmage and ECU football? I feel like that's the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
When all this other news is making that stuff meaningless, and it's going to come wipe it all out.
You're right.
So I don't even know if we should. I guess we can get into Pirate football.
Yeah.
but
I had that same thought.
Where is that on the matter scale right now? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was trying to deal with today. Like, I still got some stuff left over from the scrimmage to write and whatnot. But
I think there's an interest in that.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's a release for people still.
For some people, it is. For others, a lot of people have their head in the sand and don't want to hear anything negative, and they want to know who excelled in the scrimmage.
How the scrimmage go?
Yeah.
Played 6 quarterbacks.
So we will.
By the defense.
Save that for next segment. We'll get into it
because that's the secondary matter in reality.
But from people you talk to, Ronnie, and you got some friends in the Triangle too. Have you spoken to the Joe Gilios of the world or anybody up there about ACC?
Not recently. We've texted some, but I don't know. Enough intel, I guess, to really know. But yeah, I mean, I did email Chuck Sullivan of the AAC this afternoon, kind of the SID communications guy, and he said, which I thought was interesting, he said no formal update, as of now, which again, the AAC I don't think is really going to make a move until, the bigger, more powerful leagues do. But I think it was interesting. He did say they have regularly scheduled weekly meetings, and it's tomorrow with the ADs and the SWAs, which is a senior woman administrator. So league meeting, weekly meeting. I don't know if maybe every single Tuesday, but either way, it's set for tomorrow. Obviously, the Big Ten thing, there's some reports that's going to be a vote tomorrow or some movement. So I feel like tomorrow is going to be obviously a pretty big day. One way or another. Maybe the AAC meets like normal, like they said, like he told me, and it's just a regular kind of weekly meeting and they move on, or do they do anything significant? I kind of doubt it unless a lot of other movement is out there. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because the leagues have their own power in their own way.
Yeah.
So that's what's makes it kind of confusing and probably frustrating for a lot of people. It's like, well, the Big Ten is doing this, but the AAC might not, the ACC might, there's no uniform way unless the dominoes just fall like it did in March and everybody's done.
I mean, I really do feel like now that students are back on campus, if COVID is your major concern here, the football players are safer if there is a football season. They're getting more eyeballs looked at them, more structure, more tests, obviously. They probably won't even get tests if they're just regular students. So now that students are on campus, like if students were off campus, it might be a different thing where, I guess it would be safer not to get on a plane and go play somebody and to just stay in your bubble.
Yeah.
But with students on campus, I really think the safest thing to do for the football players is to have a season. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just hope that there's not a, and it doesn't sound like there's going to be a rash decision to cancel just because others have. At least kind of look at the pros, look at the cons, and do your own thing. And if ESPN is still paying you money to have games, then there's always at least a little bit of a financial reason to play the games.
Yeah, I mean, I think finances, especially in a league like the American, is a big factor. And really it is on all scales, probably for everybody. But, yeah, you mentioned the campus thing. I think that's interesting. I wrote about that some today. We'll be in the Reflector about they started classes today and some of the stuff that Mike Houston has said of the challenges that creates. And I asked him, well, how many players have roommates? Something as simple as that. And he said some do and some don't, and some are in the dorms, some are in off campus, some are taking online classes, and some are in person. Like today with ECU specifically created another layer of precautions, good or bad, but something they're going to have to manage. And maybe that becomes a positive in another week or two if there's still football and they're able to practice and keep going.
But it's the layer
maybe it doesn't,
the layer that everybody knew was coming.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
it's interesting that it coincides with what's going on now. Yeah, it's kind of the weird part of it. Again, and the uncertainty.
Did people just now realize that this might not work? I don't know. I don't understand it. But and you mentioned roommates and things like that. John Gilbert had mentioned earlier about the trace testing. Who have you been around and everything, and they're putting up, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that picture of Charlie in front of the conspiracy board, like who's been contacting who and all that. So,
which he mentioned the center. They kept saying the center. Well, unless I caught bits and pieces of that, but I never heard him mention the quarterback. It was always like, well, if the center gets the nose guard, well, so is your quarterback, right? Because isn't he close?
In a way, and he's handing it off to other people and throwing it.
The center is the one person you don't want.
I do feel like
a good example.
The center is, I think that was the example, right? The patient zero, because he's contacting everybody.
Quarterback, nose guard, then becomes running back.
Left guard, right guard, both defensive tackles.
You want like the free safety to get it. Well, not one, but if you had to pick in an ideal...
Oh, center is the worst.
Center, you don't want the center to own a team.
We'll do our COVID power rankings, who we don't want to get it the most coming up. No, more ECU football talk and more with Ronnie Woodward on the other side. We'll take a timeout, come back, and get ready for hour number 2 of Pirate Radio Live. We'll be back with you after this.
CD's Grill in Winterville wants to thank you for all of your support during these crazy times. CD's Grill has the area's best country cooking, and you can come and enjoy a down-home breakfast or one of our daily country lunch specials at CD's Grill.
Hi, this is Lawrence Manning from my entire CD's Grill family. Thank you for all your support. And we invite you and your family and friends to try CD's Grill and taste for yourself the best country cooking around. Promise, CD's Grill.
CD's Grill, 111 West Spire Tower Road in Winterville.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
This summer, may your days be long, your cannonballs large, and your subs giant. Order Jersey Mike's for your next backyard adventure. Just use our app for no-contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. At Jersey Mike's, we've got everything you need to get outside this summer. Cold subs, crunchy chips, and cool drinks. The sunblock is up to you. Order through our app for no-contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors, 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
Summertime,
It's summertime, and there's no better time to drive away in a quality pre-owned car or truck from Greenville Auto World. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied, repeat buyers. Are you planning that summer trip by car? Well, get yourself set with an oil change and 27-point inspection. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And the drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. PRL this afternoon is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds Pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Welcome back into the program. Hour number 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Rock here with you. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Troy D will join me in the Pirate Radio studios, as will the athletics director at ECU, John Gilbert. Looking forward to that coming up at 5 o'clock. The good news for this program is so far Shirley has not come in with her bad news theme. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, actually, Glenn and I were just literally discussing a tweet that we saw from NC State where they said due to a change in their schedule, they're not allowing any media availability tomorrow. So, but they said it's, what did you say? It's not attributed to a larger changes in college football. So we were actually discussing whether or not that was breaking news. And then you brought it up, and I was just like, well, we might as well discuss it now.
Oh, boy. Well,
so it's not attributed to?
According to the tweet, no, it is not attributed to that. Just a change in the schedule.
I don't like that they had to even mention that. It makes me even more suspicious on what it is.
Well, anytime you get a tweet from State, I'm automatically suspicious. So.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Ronnie. This segment, you want to talk about football?
Let's do it.
Like on-the-field football?
I brought my field steel, my computer, and a towel for the weather, football, and whatever else.
This could be our last day to break down Big Ten football. You want to do that?
Sure. Ohio State's going to be really good. Or would be really good.
All right. Of course it went this way because I and everybody else thought it wouldn't be this way. So the defense won the scrimmage on Saturday?
I mean, 7 turnovers compared to 1 touchdown. And I think it was 94 plays. So that's a lot of plays for 1 touchdown.
How much do you know about those turnovers and how they happened and how they were forced?
There was 5 interceptions, 2 fumbles. There's a blocked punt. Juwan Powell blocked a punt. So I don't think that counts as a turnover, right? I think 5 interceptions and 2 fumbles would equal to 7 turnovers. But a lot of interception. And this is just going off the stats that ECU had on its website. Right. Obviously, they don't they highlight the defensive part of that, but not gonna, mention who threw the interception.
Oh, so it doesn't say who threw the picks?
No, just that who got them. So it's kind of, I don't know. Like, if we knew that information, obviously people want to know that, but, they're probably not going to release that because schools don't want to single out players for mistakes and, negative type stuff. And that's, that's the way that typically works. So yeah, by all accounts, the defense did well, but, even Mike Houston admitted it that in his address after the scrimmage, that typically the defense is a little ahead early, and then it switches.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying,
season's always like defense win the first one, offense wins the second one. Like, it's always that way for the most part.
But with a scenario where you're starting quarterback, all your receivers, a lot of your linemen are back, and you have a brand new defensive coordinator with an entirely new defensive line, you would expect the offense to be well ahead of the defense. But
that could also play into us not knowing. We know 6 quarterbacks played.
So was that mentioned somewhere in the release?
Yeah. And Mike Houston said it.
That's a way of saying, here's who threw the picks.
Yeah. And so if you include Ehlers, 5 are freshmen, either true freshmen or redshirt freshmen. So unless Ehlers threw 2, 3, 4 of those interceptions, which I kind of doubt, maybe he didn't even play a lot. Again, we're speculating. But it's probably safe to assume majority of those 5 interceptions came from freshmen.
Yeah.
Maybe if not all. We don't know for sure. But so I think that played it. If they wanted to get extended look at a lot of the quarterbacks, 6 of them played. There were some mistakes. They're all young. So, yeah. And the defensive guys that got interceptions, too, were a lot of maybe not starters, but names that we kind of know. And so, I don't know. It wasn't totally surprising, but yeah.
Well, hey, look, Blake Harrell deserved a good day, right?
Yeah.
He needs all the positive reinforcement he can give his defense at this point with just not being around him for so long. And once again, as you mentioned, so Marshall didn't scrimmage?
From what I saw, there was a story, it was the Charleston paper on Friday, quoted Doc Holliday. Once the ECU Marshall thing came out, they're probably moving the game. The coach said, well, if we're not playing on August 29th, we're switching up our schedule. And they went to like a walkthrough, a Saturday walkthrough.
I was going to ask you about that too, Ronnie. Like, what does that mean moving forward? Because even John Gilbert was on the Brian Bailey show. He'll join us at 5, and hell, a lot could change in between noon and 5, as we know now. But he said that, that there's not a contract sign of when that game's going to be played, but it could be the 5th, it could be the 12th. So really, they don't even know the actual date. But what do you think that means, Ronnie, for ECU practice and moving forward, and how that's going to change? The last few weeks, they've been preparing for that particular date. So now what does that mean?
Yeah, and Mike Houston said last week, there's like a 2-week timeline. So like 2 weeks before game day is when you got to be in like ready to roll, all whatever, focused, really preparing for a game. So yeah, they were doing that because they were preparing for August 29th. So I think, there's going to be some tapping of the brake.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's almost like they can take a breath a little bit.
Yeah, I think, and he said it, and I think they wanted to get that first scrimmage in. Again, I think because of the quarterbacks and also probably for Blake Harrell and different things. But it wouldn't surprise me if they don't scrimmage this Saturday. Obviously, I probably would be surprised if they do scrimmage this week. Maybe it's next week or whatever. But this week's practice schedule, I am intrigued to know. I know they didn't practice today. I weren't planning on practicing today because of the first day of classes. But like Shirley said, what about tomorrow? Do you practice not knowing when your game is, or not knowing?
That's the thing.
What's going at all? Out there. So yeah, I think this week will be interesting. But
I saw a tweet that said Ohio State practiced this morning.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, I also saw the Jim Harbaugh statement where he did the whole "we want to play" hashtag, and he's kind of going against, I guess, his president. And you're going to see a lot of that, I think, moving forward.
For sure.
Because it's just out of their hands.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting, and that's what I think this week is going to be. The intriguing part is the practice schedule, because you also can't just not practice and just stop everything.
Yeah,
But
I think
then
you
what if
got to
you
go until you are told.
Yeah.
It's done.
Until your league says, there's no fall season, then obviously that changes the dynamic. But if your league is at least contemplating playing or trying to figure it out, go practice while you can, I guess.
I just don't see spring football as a real thing, especially if you're going to try to play fall in 2021. But if there is, Redbeard, he's always Mr. Positive, said ECU did get spring ball in August, so if there's a regular season in spring, they'll be ready to go. Yeah, have that under their belt.
I think the problem maybe with spring ball would be, again, spitballing, some type of condensed version. Maybe it's okay, we're going to play 4 games or something, just to play. Maybe it's like not even a real season. It's a whatever, mini little preseason type thing just to play then prepares you for the fall. Because there's no way you could play a full spring season and a full fall, like you said. So maybe it's or some weird thing of who knows, like a college football playoff and everybody just plays like some type of bowl game or something.
I've said earlier that set it up like boxing, where you set up a prize fight, up a prize game between Texas and Bama. ECU and Southern Miss can play
a few games. Just do it.
It's televised. It would make a ton of money for everybody, and it would have
fans could be there,
eyeballs everywhere. Definitely TV money. If you could have fans there, people would be so hungry it would sell out easily. I mean, you could do it every game at Bristol, like they did that Virginia Tech game, and just have all those people there. So there is, again, different ways you can do it, and maybe you're right. If they do punt down the road and really keep the spring as an option, maybe you go to something like that instead of doing a full slate.
I think it'd be some type of exhibition bowl game, whatever.
Because I know volleyball and softball, I think too. Don't they have
season
off season and they play other teams?
Even baseball. Remember the last few years? They played Virginia. They played PCC. They could have fall exhibition games.
And you turn them into TV events or
I think
events you can go
I think
to.
that would be the spring model. That would make sense if they go to the spring. Do some type of bowl, whatever type thing that's maybe not too serious, but you get to actually play some games. And it's an entertainment. It's a TV show. I mean, that's all we're watching right now. This NBA is a TV show. That's literally what it is.
We did it again. We saved football, Ronnie. Way to go.
There we go.
That's what we do.
We just got to wait 6 more months to get there.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. More to go with Ronnie Woodward as he joins us here on Pirate Radio Live. We're back with more after this.
It's summertime, and there's no better time to drive away in a quality pre-owned car or truck from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer, specializing in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust in our team to improve your vehicle's off-road experience. Give us a call for more information, 252-364-8730. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com. Dinner's great. It's one of your top 3 favorite meals. You just don't want to have to make it. Well, with Jimmy John's, you don't have to. Whether you live in a sandwich delivery zone or head into the store, you can always get a freaky fresh sandwich. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an auto owner's independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with auto owner's insurance.
This is Jeff Gibson with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
There's nothing like Pirate Game Days.
He's got the ball. He starts right. He goes left, and there he goes. 10-5. Touchdown, Pirates. Home field takes it in from 21 yards out.
The sight of a tailgate, the roar of the crowd. Support the Pirate Club and buy your season tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com. We're in this together. All hands on deck. One Pirate Nation.
Back to school is here, and the Auto Store Group is committed to helping our customers drive the best quality pre-owned vehicles and is committed to caring about our kids and our community. This is Mary from the Auto Store Group, and right now, during our Backpack to School event, every time we sell a vehicle, we will be making a $50 donation to any local school that the customer chooses. The Auto Store Group, 3 locations, over 150 vehicles online at theautostoregroup.com, and most importantly, proud members of the Eastern North Carolina community for over 38 years.
Hey, Pitt County Schools families, the month of August is here and school will certainly be different this year. If you are starting school 100% virtually or are attending school face-to-face on alternating weeks, we are looking forward to resuming the purpose of our system, and that's the education of the children in Pitt County in an excellent and a safe manner. For videos with our leaders, FAQs, and so much more information to answer your questions, visit our Road to Reopening page on our website at pittschools.org or keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Remember, we'll face this upcoming school year together because we are Pitt County Schools strong.
Know what I like most about my new phone from US Cellular?
I don't know.
That it was
Proof of qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
This is ECU basketball coach Joe Dooley, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Greenville Utilities Neighbor to Neighbor program provides help for those who need temporary assistance with their utility costs, and you can make a difference. Your tax-deductible donation can be added to your GUC bill each month, or you can make a one-time donation, and GUC matches all donations up to $20,000 each year. Consider helping a neighbor with GUC's Neighbor to Neighbor program. And Clip, as we head back into Pirate Radio Live, just an interesting tidbit, because I know you are familiar with this gentleman because of his relation to his dad, obviously. But the Baltimore Ravens just waived Bronson Rechsteiner, who is the son of former wrestling star Rick Steiner. They waived him today.
Wow.
So,
what about Scott Steiner?
Scott's nephew. I guess.
Scott's nephew. Yeah, but
so wait, their last name is Rechsteiner.
Rechsteiner.
Huh? I never knew that. So Rick Steiner's real last name is Rechsteiner.
Yeah, it's kind of like German, like Reich.
Rechsteiner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's his real first name?
Rick Steiner?
Rick Steiner.
I don't know.
Richard.
Look that up for us, Glenn.
It can't be Rick. There's no way.
I'm sure it is.
It should be Rick.
Because that Scott's is definitely Scott.
Yeah. They went, you want to talk about like taking a weird trajectory. Scott Steiner started as like the All-American wearing
tag team
amateur wrestling gear to the ring and stuff.
They wore their Michigan Letterman jackets to the ring.
Right.
They were legit. I mean, they were legit champions in the wrestling
then
game.
Scott Steiner went way off the rails with the Big Papa Pump.
Yeah.
The big bad booty daddy.
Steroid era.
Man.
Steroid era.
He took a turn. Oh, thank you for that update,
Now
Shirley.
he is a Shoney's owner in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
And I recently read, like in the past week, that his Shoney's was shut down due to the Rona.
I thought you were going to say I recently went there.
I'm sad because like in this near the bar area, they have a whole like Steiner shrine of all their belts from over the years.
That would be cool.
It is cool, but it's just off of some random exit in Georgia, and it's the Shoney's.
Glenn's bid is getting old wrestlers' athletic uniforms, such as Kevin Green,
Macho Man.
Goldberg. Get a Goldberg jersey.
I can't get a Goldberg because he played for the Falcons.
You wear all kinds. You wear Phillies crap in here, Mr. Brady.
There was a story though. There was a story behind the Phillies thing.
Get out of here. All right. But anyway, his new bit is going to go to restaurant chains that are owned by former wrestlers, such as the Shoney's, the Steiner Shoney's.
That sounds fun.
How's the Steiner Shoney's compared to every other Shoney's? I don't know.
They don't have a Steiner's museum in there. I mean, I feel like it's pretty unique.
I remember the old Shoney's and eating there way back in the day. I think one of my Shoney's memories. Never mind. That's not.
Was it a buffet?
Story. I think they did have a buffet. I want to say they have a breakfast buffet as well.
Are we talking about the one out by the hospital?
Yeah.
Man, that was a sketchy place.
So what are you saying? You went quite a bit?
I'm saying that.
Would you go from Kinston to the Greenville Shoney's back in the day?
No, I lived in Greenville at the time.
Oh, okay.
So my favorite late night place was over by the Bad Walmart on the corner there. What was it called? It wasn't like Bennigan's. But it was something like that.
I might know what you're talking about.
It started with a B. I can't think of what it is. Because it's been torn down now. You didn't remember on the corner there,
like where like the Applebee's was, or
down from there was the Applebee's, there was the Tokyo Japan place, and then there was a place on the corner.
Help me out, people. I don't know.
I don't remember what that place was called.
And if y'all two don't know, then
it's not clicking for
like
me
the
right
three
now.
late night places were the Shoney's, the Waffle House, and then that location.
Mike says Shoney's breakfast was always on time after a night of drinking.
Any breakfast is always on time after a night of drinking.
So the Shoney's wasn't that good. You just thought it was good.
It's all about location at that point.
Location.
Yeah.
All right, Ronnie, we got a few more minutes to go with you.
All right.
What'd you watch this weekend, sports related?
Watched a lot of the golf.
Yes.
I saw you chiming in too.
Yes.
Proud.
I had Colin.
Yes.
It was awesome, man. You want to talk about?
He came out of nowhere.
Well, he was 2 under.
Well, he was like in the mix, but like at least TV wise, they were focused on Dustin Johnson, and like it was like
DeChambeau.
It was like because he's kind of quiet. Yeah,
he is.
It's like let's show this tee shot, and it's like that dude just won the championship.
That was high drama when you had 6 guys at 10 under.
There was a lot
for a good 4 or 5 holes. Like nobody, and the announcers kept saying like something's going to happen here. Somebody is going to take a chip. Is it something? And it was a chip that got because he. I got to give him credit. He didn't like hit every tee shot perfect or every approach shot perfect. He got to 11 under and won ahead of everybody with a chip off the green, and
drove the.
And then, of course, on 16, he had the beautiful drive and the eagle.
Yeah, they weren't expecting him. Was the gist I got from the TV coverage to break through out of that pack?
Well, they wanted
all
probably
over Dustin Johnson
and Bryson, and those guys that have a little edge and personality to them.
Yep, and that's part of it. It's like Varner played great for 6-7 holes.
They were showing him pretty good.
Those guys teed off.
Yeah.
And then he kind of fell off. But he had a good.
Varner at one point got to within 3 shots.
Yeah,
right?
He was 3 back before Dustin Johnson had teed off.
Yeah.
And then he had a couple bogeys in a row and kind of faltered a little bit. But he had a really good showing. 29th, I think it was, tied for 29th. But yeah, I was pretty locked in the golf yesterday for sure from like 4:30.
I was going to text you, but it was classic Harvick. Although Hamlin about chased him down yesterday, but there was 2 races. Harvick won them both.
Okay.
And it was just he pulled ahead. Hamlin made it close, but it wasn't worth you flipping over there.
Yeah.
I was going to text you.
I was locked in on the golf for sure. Watched some baseball as usual.
How about Tuesday night? Hurricanes? You back in?
Yeah. I watched part of was it last game? The Saturday afternoon. Might be the second game. I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember what night they closed it out now.
They closed it.
Oh, Saturday afternoon was game 1.
Yeah. So I watched that one. And maybe part of game 2, but didn't watch. When they actually clinched it, I don't think I watched that. 'Cause I think that was like a midweek Tuesday or something, like in the afternoon.
Tuesday evening,
whatever. Like just didn't check in. But yeah, I've slipped on the NASCAR, not gonna lie. Now that there's some other options,
I have too.
I've gone heavy on baseball because it's on every night. There's always a game, day or night, whatever. And obviously, into the golf. So
I'm starting to. Okay, I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm day to day. I'm going to watch everything I can tonight. So don't get me wrong, but I am a guy that likes to look forward and look ahead, and I'm feeling pretty decent about an NFL season.
Yeah,
I think we'll have that. What, Glenn? What I think we talked about this. Are they going to go NBA to start the 2020-2021 season? You think that'll be December? Is that what you think? Because I want to know, when is hockey and NBA going to start back?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want there to be another void of nothing.
I would expect there probably will be a month or two break, and then we'll just come right back.
Yeah.
Like at Christmas.
The Christmas Day thing always
That
works
makes
for
sense,
NBA.
man. Like, you just come
load
back
up on Christmas Day.
Started there with a quadruple header.
Yeah, like load it up.
And you go
to
back to the
midnight.
bubble. Like, I think you just go back. You leave everything there. You leave the court set up like they are, and you come back and play in the bubble until there's a vaccine.
Yeah. That'd be tough, too, though, man. It's tough on these players now, personally. It'd be tough to be like, all right, you got to go do this. But then guess what? You're coming back for Christmas Day without your family and kids.
2 months
and
of vacation in between.
Yeah, but
you know how much of a baller vacation you can have on an NBA salary for 2 months?
Yeah.
Well, you can't go anywhere, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You can go places. You just can't do anything.
Within the United States.
You just can't do anything.
You can't go anywhere exotic right now.
But I'm with you.
Maybe
I'm with
Hawaii
you.
is pretty exotic.
I think there's one Middle Eastern country that will still let us in.
It is a small list of countries
wanna
that
go over
will
there.
accept United States. It'll accept Americans right now.
How about a good old Alaskan winter vacation?
You can go to
Alaskan
Hawaii.
cruise.
Hawaii's tropical as heck.
I know.
You can go there.
Tropical as heck. Okay, I'm just curious when these leagues are going to kick back up, because like Premier League, which I know a lot of people don't care about, their season just ended. They're going to get back rolling in September. So like
Serie A. Stopped on a Wednesday and came back on a Saturday.
When does NBA end?
So the playoffs start on Monday, I think. So
It's like October 22nd.
they're going to go,
So that would, 2 months.
2 months.
It's pretty much
Bring 'em back.
it's pretty much to the end of when the regular season was supposed to start.
Yeah.
Like the 2021 season should have started on October 22nd.
Yeah.
And I think the playoffs go to like October 16th.
I could see Christmas. That would make sense.
So again, my whole reason for bringing this up is, will we have another lapse? And as long as there's NFL, I don't think we will. I think that'll stretch right back into basketball, hockey. Plus, you've got the MLB playoffs are going to be going to what? November, right?
Yeah. I think, it goes until what would have been anyway.
Yeah.
I believe.
Nebraska has said they're playing football regardless of any other country, any other college,
Any other country.
They're playing intra-squads.
They're just. That's what I'm asking. Are we just going black shirts versus the ones on offense?
So what do we do if we have positive news? Glenn breaks it, and if it's negative, Shirley breaks it.
I like it.
Is that how it works?
It's a total reverse of how the world normally is. In here, which I love.
True. When did Glenn become the positive guy around here? All right. So what did you see that on Twitter or something?
Yeah.
All right.
That was from Scott Frost, Nebraska head coach, former UC.
Yeah, he's been.
head coach.
He held a press conference. Looked like today.
I mean, that sounds great and all, but like, does he make that decision?
No.
Welcome to the American Athletic Conference, Nebraska.
Come on in. Scott Frost knows a lot about the AAC.
Dude, they can play in the Western Division. They can play Tulsa. They can play the other Texas schools. I like it.
And the presidents, I assume, are one on the pecking order of who makes decisions, and
I
two
guess.
might be the TV partners. Honestly,
I mean, the money's got to be in a top 3 position for sure. But apparently, I mean, per John Gilbert earlier, that your chancellors have a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, your chancellors, your presidents, those people.
Yeah,
and that's taken the top slots, and then essentially the athletics people get no say.
Yeah, right. They are at the bottom of the pecking order.
Certainly not the coaches.
But Scott Frost is like, screw that. We're going to do what we were talking about, our one-off games or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the idea of like grungy, lo-fi broadcast.
Bootleg games?
On some bootleg situation. Yeah, I love it.
Well, spring football games never used to be broadcast until...
and now they are
network.
Right, yeah.
Now it's on ESPN.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, maybe we should put this and people watch it.
So let's say we go to a free-for-all bootleg schedule. Like, it's all up to Pierce and Meador over at ECU to get the game streaming on something.
They're going to have to get some of those cameras out of Clark Leclerc Stadium and put them over to use.
People are chiming in on the restaurant you were trying to figure out.
It's Bennigan's. I looked up the logo. It's Bennigan's.
In Greenville? I don't think so.
Man, it started with a B.
I don't think it was.
The colors
ever.
are right, and the logo
Was it
logo's
Carrabba's?
right. No, it was definitely. We never had a Carrabba's.
We never had a Bennigan's.
And Carrabba's is not open late night.
So it wasn't Perkins.
It was Perkins.
Oh, okay.
It was Perkins.
Okay.
Yes.
Perkins with the B.
Perkins.
Also known. B's and P's get confused all the time.
Perkins.
Perkins with the B.
All right, Chad called it out. Red Beer mentioned Ryan's, which was also we went there a lot.
But Ryan's was it late night?
No, it was buffet.
Yeah.
Ryan's was like Golden Corral minus a few notches. You know?
Was it? I think maybe so.
Well, at least not. I don't know about here, but where I grew up, it was.
What was the one that was beside the car dealership, right across from Ryan's? There was one. There was.
Here we go again. I don't know.
Did it start with the B?
No.
Bojangles.
Red Lobster.
It was like a guy's full name. It wasn't like Howard Johnson, but it was something like that.
I don't know.
It was something like that. He just made. It was Bob Evans.
Bob Evans. Thank you, Troy D.
But it made it look like Bob Evans owned the car lot. Because the sign was like in the car lot.
Bob Evans is good. I can get down with that.
I don't know if I ever went to Bob Evans. So
Troy was correct. It is Bob Evans.
I can get down.
I had to
with
give him
that.
his props.
we just did several times.
He,
All right.
he instructed me to do that on air. I was giving instructions by the top.
You're the best around. Let's take a timeout and say goodbye to Ronnie. Bye, Ronnie.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, guys.
Was this all you wanted it to be and
It's
more?
good. Hey, it's a good distraction.
All right.
Now I can go bury my phone into what news might happen next.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we'll take a timeout. Come back. We will talk about the world of sports that is happening from a gambling perspective with the BMOC. Jeff Nadu joins us on the other side. We're back after this.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
The dog days of summer are here. The Humane Society of Eastern Carolina is excited to be partnered with Pirate Radio and Pitt Printing to make Greenville greater than ever. This is Shelby from the Humane Society of Eastern Carolina, and if you're headed to the beach, the river, or the pool, then stop by and see us to pick up a t-shirt and 2 koozies for only $20. Help rescue pets here in Pitt County and make Greenville greater than ever by getting your shirt and koozies at the Humane Society of Eastern Carolina or Pitt Printing today.
UBE is now back open to serve the Pirate Nation. UBE is striving for the best customer experience, practicing social distancing, cleaned and sanitized contact surfaces, and curbside service. Our hours are now 10 to 6, Monday through Friday, and 10 to 5 on Saturday. PirateWear.com is open 24 hours a day with in-store pickup available. Please be sure to follow UBE and PirateWear.com on all social media platforms. UBE and PirateWear.com, serving the Pirate Nation for over 50 years.
Feeling the heat? Then get out of the kitchen. Jersey Mike's has you covered all summer with fresh, cold, perfect for parks, picnics, and patios. Order through our app for no-contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. This summer, may your days be long, your cannonballs large, and your subs giant. Order Jersey Mike's for your next backyard adventure. Just use our app for no-contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
For years, Callie Ann Phelps has been singing about Phelps Chevrolet.
Phelps Chevrolet is the one for you. Low, low prices, service too. See the big dealer right away. Carolina's finest, Phelps Chevrolet.
And you'll agree with what Skylar Phelps has to say.
Nobody beats Phelps Chevrolet's prices. Nobody.
Name you can depend on. Phelps Chevrolet.
Get you one.
CPW's is currently open 7 days a week, with the bar opening daily at 3 p.m. for cocktails and appetizers, and for dinner starting at 4 p.m. Every Monday and Tuesday at CPW's, receive a free appetizer of your choice when you purchase 2 dinner entrees. The dining room is also available during lunch hours and weekends for private dining, meetings, and events. CPW's also offers drop-off caterings for luncheons, employee appreciation events, weddings, showers, and reunion dinners. CPW's is now offering our streamlined dining room menu of classics and favorites. If there's a legacy menu item that you miss, just ask and we'll do our best to prepare it for you. And for carryout, try easy online ordering at cpws.biz and save 10% off your order just for trying it out. Come see what we're all about. CPW's, corner of Stantonsburg Road and Arlington Boulevard in the Stanton Square Shopping Center, Greenville.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Atlantic Wireless is your local authorized U.S. cellular agent and now offers curbside service and free home delivery. In addition to phone service, Atlantic Wireless has a great selection of tablets and now offers home internet service. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find a store near you. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, welcome back into the program. Clip Rock here with you. Don't forget, coming up in hour number 3, we got the athletics director at East Carolina University hanging out with Troy D and I. John Gilbert going to hang out the whole hour number 3, so looking forward to that coming up at 5 o'clock. Before we get there, let's check in with the BMOC, Jeff Nadu, the big man on campus, talk about what is going on now and what went down over the weekend. Jeff, thanks for your time. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Clip. How are you?
Hey, doing all right. Hanging in there. Before we get to the sports that are going to happen and some sports that may not be going to happen, let's recap the weekend. A big winner for you in the PGA Championship with Colin Morikawa. And, Jeff, you got in on it early. I did not get in on it till Sunday afternoon, so my rake of the share, not as big as yours, but congratulations on that win. And what a performance by the Cal Bear on Sunday.
Yeah, thanks, Clip. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it really was. I mean, we got to be honest. Like, that shot on 16 might have been the best shot I've seen in some time in golf. I mean, that was pretty incredible. I mean, he shoots, unbelievable round yesterday. And, after Saturday, he was kind of in the thick of things. And, you had so many people yesterday at one point at -10. It was just, could he do something? And then, it's funny. I was talking with a friend of mine, and I said, oh, my God, he – on the last hole had a, chance to, or the second, that one on 16 had a chance to eagle. And a friend of mine that wasn't watching said, well, how far is it? I said, I don't know. It's maybe 10 feet. And he goes, he said, well, that's not going to be easy. And he just knocked it in. It was terrific. But yeah, it was a fun one. I got found some good info on it and just kind of ran with it. And, Morikawa's played well. I think he's the next big thing in golf.
Yeah, and Jeff, I'll admit, I got lucky on it. I saw Sunday afternoon what the numbers look like, and, he was 2 shots back, and I took a flyer on it. If I was into golf and made an intelligent pick on it, I went the right way because, man, at least yesterday, Jeff, you might know more than me, but he was the coolest customer out of that group that was all tied with the 6-way tie. Just never really showed any emotion one way or the other. Like, he cracked a smile every now and then, but really seemed like the coolest guy on the course yesterday when all that drama was happening with a huge tie at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean, even when he won, he was pretty. He was pretty stoic. He didn't really say much. It was pretty impressive. Yeah, he seems like a cool cucumber that just does his thing and just kind of does it. It's just normal to him, and that's I think a lot of the time that's what separates the greats from just people that are playing with something. Some guys are just cold-blooded and they get the job done. And he really was unbelievable. I mean, he just shot at. It was a great fourth round. I mean, 6 over par. I mean, 64 is pretty incredible. But yeah, his stoic kind of just get the job done kind of mentality was impressive. It kind of reminded you of like a Tiger Woods at one point. So yeah, it's impressive to see where he goes from here. He's been really good over the last month or two.
Jeff, your NBA numbers still great, despite a loss that I had tailed, and I don't even remember who was playing now. I've watched so much sports over the weekend, everything I could get, but it looked like it was over the total, and I had it 237. I think you said if the 3 went into the end at 238, it would have pushed. What game was it? Spurs? Somebody, Jeff? I can't even remember who it was now.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Spurs Pelicans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I mean, the sad thing is when you bet an over, you're really hoping, obviously, to get out of the gates quick.
Yeah.
You want that 35-31 first half or first quarter, but sadly yesterday it was 27-19. Look, when you have a total that high, you can't have 19-point quarters. You just can't. And
despite that, what'd they have in the fourth, Jeff? Like 70 something, right?
That's the thing. Like, I needed 81 points in the fourth quarter to hit the over, and they end up scoring 77.
Right.
And look, I mean, if if Drew Holiday hits a 3 basically at the buzzer, I would have pushed the total. So, the fact that I even had a shot was pretty incredible. But, Clip, in the first quarter, Pelicans scored 19, and then in the third quarter, the Spurs scored 19. So you just can't have those two kind of quarters in a game where you need 238 points. It's just not a real good recipe. But, yeah, credit those guys at the end. They kind of kept fouling and kept trying to stay in the game. But I will comment quickly, and I really have an issue with this. If you're a New Orleans Pelicans fan, I would be absolutely livid. I mean, they were absolutely the management, the coaching was just laughable. I don't understand the thought process by going to Orlando to participate and try to get into the playoffs, yet you don't play your star player any more than 27 minutes in any game. You actively tried to lose, it seemed like. Shame on Alvin Gentry. He should be fired this morning. It's really disgusting what he did and what he didn't do. If I were in that fan base, I would be livid because they had a good shot to get to the playoffs, and they totally pissed it away.
Jeff, I heard somebody say today that they're not betting until the playoffs start. You take a little bit of reverse on that because you enjoy the work part of it, the research. Okay, who's sitting out these qualifying games? Who's not playing today? You enjoy doing that part of it. So you've been on quite a run even before we get to the playoffs. And I think we got what, Jeff, like one more week until the playoffs begin? We still got another week of these games?
Yeah, so your playing games would be this coming weekend.
Okay.
You have, I think each team has 2, some 3 more games. So, yeah, I mean, we're kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty of who's in and who's not in. Obviously, the Western Conference is dealing with a little bit more as far as who's in or who's out. But, the East is decided. It's really just about where the seeding is. Do the Magic or the Nets get the 8 seed? And, what is, maybe the certain 4, 5, 6, like the Pacers and Heat, what's their standing. So, the East is pretty much decided. But, yeah, I thrive on finding, info and kind of speculating on what will happen and how teams are going to be without certain guys. So, yeah, I kind of enjoy this kind of stuff.
Well, let's look at tonight's action, see if you like anything, Jeff. Raptors-Bucks, I believe I saw earlier Giannis is not playing for Milwaukee. They're a favorite, although that number might shift a little bit. But right now, looking at a 225 total. Heat-Pacers, total at 221. Heat a favorite by 4. And then tonight, as I've seen a lot of people like the Nuggets. They are 5.5-point dogs to the Lakers at 9 o'clock, total at 221. Anything in the NBA tonight you're going to go after?
Yeah, I'll kind of just hit each game quickly. If I had to play something Raptors-Bucks, I mean, you're really playing, two teams playing for pretty much nothing at this point. I think both units are probably comfortable in resting players. But, I look at the Raptors, a pretty deep group, and we know they can bring guys like Terrence Davis and Norman Powell and Boucher and they have Ronnie Hollis Jefferson. They're a pretty deep group, Norman Powell. So, this is a group that can bring guys off the bench, and I still think we'll see a pretty decent lineup for them tonight. They're getting 7 points. The problem that I have with Toronto is I don't love them against top-tier competition. In fact, Clip, you look at this season, they are 1-9 against the Bucks, Clippers, Celtics, Nuggets, and Rockets, and they're not really playing even close in those games. They're not good. They just haven't been good against those teams. I look at the Bucks. I think they're a team that I just can't seem to figure out. I haven't bet much on in this tournament. There's not really much to play for here, so I wouldn't be engaged in this game. I think if there was value, it was at 5.5 with the Bucks, and obviously that's no longer there. I feel like if this gets up to 8.5, I might consider taking Toronto, just because I do think their depth is better than what Milwaukee has. If I had to play a game tonight, I would be looking at Indiana-Miami, and I may bet this game. I'm still kind of up in the air with it. I want to do a little bit more detective work on what we're getting out of each team. I think it's pretty clear Jimmy Butler's going to play tonight, and while that's important for me offensively, it's also pretty important defensively. You look at without Jimmy Butler, the Heat had a 107 defensive rating, or they have a 107 defensive rating with him. Without him, their defensive rating is at almost 118, so they're just not very good defensively without Jimmy Butler. And I look at Indiana. I think they will regress at some point offensively. It could be tonight, but I look at Miami on offense. I think they have some real successes here on that side of the ball. I think in half court they're really good. They can exploit Indiana at the rim. You look at Indiana, they have literally nothing at this point at the rim outside of Miles Turner. So I think if they can create in half court, which I think they will, with the three-point shooting they have, they've still been able to be very good offensively regardless of who's in the lineup. I just think at some point, Clip, Indiana is going to regress just a little bit offensively. We might not see T.J. Warren tonight. Could be tonight where the regression comes from. I think it's also important to understand Indiana has not been great defensively. I think they could get diced up in this game.
Talking to the BMOC, talking basketball, let's look at the baseball card, Jeff. One thing that jumps out to me, the Mariners are playing. I've been fading them. It has worked out. The Major League Baseball card coming up.
Yeah, Clip, I didn't bet MLB yesterday. I haven't looked at it much so far today. I guess for me, I'm just I got soccer I'm dealing with. I got other things I'm dealing with. I'm always kind of keeping my eye to what's going on. Oakland, I think, how do you not just bet Oakland right now? This group has been, pretty terrific over the last 2 weeks. You got to wonder what Sean Manaea has tonight. He hasn't looked great this season.
Yeah.
With how good offensively, Oakland has looked at times, maybe you're looking at an over in this game. Julio Teheran's not exactly been good either. We know we got some power at both sides of the lineup with, Mike Trout and Chris Davis. Chris Davis actually had a day off yesterday. But, Cliff, I'm kind of treading with baseball. I'm kind of just focused right now on basketball and with soccer and stuff like that. But, I think right now, anytime Seattle's on the card, I think you can look to fade them. They're going with a prospect today, Justin Dunn, who has made a couple starts this year. He hasn't been great by any means. And you have a Kyle Gibson who's actually been quite good in his career, has been quite good against the Mariners. So, yeah, Clip, I wouldn't have any problem taking the Texas Rangers today against a pretty bad Mariner team, as we've talked about. And, as far as I looked, the price isn't terrible. I guess the only issue you have here is if you want to lay 1.5. I'm not a big fan of laying 1.5 with home teams. Maybe you look at a first 5 minus a half. It's going to probably be 130, 140. I think that's a pretty solid play here.
Yeah, and this has big man written all over it. But I wanted to ask you, is Dustin May, when he pitches for the Dodgers, is that becoming like Kershaw was, and maybe still is to some degree, but, you got to ride with the Dodgers. But they are monster favorites over a good team in San Diego, and the Padres have Richards throwing tonight. You gonna do that deal where you take the Padres, take a pretty good team when they're that big of a dog, or again is Dustin May one of those guys that you got to roll with now?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you right now. The LA Dodgers have really hit over the last couple of years in some of these pitchers. Whether it's Walker Buehler, whether it's Ross Stripling's been solid for them at times. Now you have Dustin May coming up. He's been pretty terrific. He's had some really nice tools in his arsenal. And you look at the last time he pitched against the Padres, he was terrific. 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. He really just made one he hit a couple good pitches. Occasionally made a bad pitch, but he's been good. I'm not looking to fade Dustin May, and I'm actually seeing Perdomo going for the Padres. You might have to check that clip as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I'm not looking to fade Dustin May. To be honest.
Jeff Nadu joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Jeff, before we let you go, we'll talk a little college football or what could be left of it. And again, you ride this emotional roller coaster with it. I blame myself. For the first time, I decided, you know what, I'm going to be positive. So late last week, I was blowing the horn for college football. I feel pretty optimistic about it, and then boom, crap hits the fan. But where are you sitting right now when it comes to any college football happening in 2020?
Well, Clip, obviously, as we all know, I mean, stuff changes so quickly, and you're right, it's really been a roller coaster. And in these times with social media, I mean, everyone has an opinion, people that maybe aren't credible that are giving opinions, but Clip, I think deep down, I think at the end of the day, sadly, the response in this country will be the death knell for college football. And I think at some point, I think a lot of these guys are just scared at this point. They don't want anyone to get really sick and get really hurt. But I will look at it from my standpoint. I still will continue to say I'm not quite sure how being on a college campus with your team and being tested all the time and, kind of being in a safe space, I don't know how that's not safer than going home and doing God knows what.
I agree.
Around and all that sort of thing. So I guess I'm not sure why they would cancel, but then again, I am, because in this country we have set such a poor precedent with the response to this virus. Listen, whether you're in the South, East, West, North, it really doesn't matter who you vote for. Sadly, the response to this virus has been absolutely disgraceful, and we are still in a spot that no one else is. There's a reason, Clip, that in Europe they're playing with fans and they're having full seasons and they're traveling around. Sadly, I mean, we really don't have anyone to blame in this country but ourselves. A lot of people didn't take this seriously. There's still people that argue because they don't want to do certain things, and we really have no one to blame but ourselves and the response that this country's had. And that's why we're not going to have football. And there are people that will tweet that have major positions of power in this country because they know that if we don't have college football, that will hurt their bottom line. Look, I want college football. I still think, Clip, the SEC, Big 12, and ACC will play. It wouldn't also surprise me if the AAC play. I think they're pretty steadfast in what they're doing as well. I haven't heard much from that group either. And it seems as if you look at the AAC, a lot of those schools, for the most part, it seems like they've figured the virus out a bit. But we'll see. I'm infatuated in just reading this stuff because you have kind of one angle where you have these guys that their sole job is to write about college football that just don't seem to want college football and they're against it. And then you have another side that kind of agrees with all of us that we should have it. It's just it's a strange dichotomy, but that's what we have, Clip, anymore. Everything is political that we do. You either agree or you don't. You really can't be in the middle. I am one, though, that tries to stay in the middle. I foresee why we shouldn't have it, but I also think, well, where else could you be safer as a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid? And finally, on that note, anything you just said, Jeff, affect your thoughts on the NFL? I mean, is it full systems go for the NFL? No, the NFL is as you know, Clip, the NFL is a machine. Yeah. I think the good thing that the NFL has is, they just have the ability to do these, outfit every practice facility. I mean, all the teams are doing, they don't want to be the team that that skimps on things. So, all these teams are taking crazy steps. The Broncos were going through a legitimate car wash before they hit the practice field. Did you see that video? I think that should be, they should have that everywhere, and I think it's a great idea. The more the merrier. And, Clip, we have to understand there are 1,700 players in the NFL. There's going to be someone that tries to screw it up, but I still am very confident that the NFL, they have a lot of security, they have a lot of team personnel. It wouldn't surprise me if certain teams, kind of put it out there, look, if you're struggling with this, you need help, give us a call, we'll be there, we'll go out and get the stuff for you instead of you going out to the store, or, and there's got to be responsible people, and if someone screws up and doesn't follow the rules, they need to be removed and not paid. That's how it should work. If you break the rules, just like that Indians pitcher did, you are removed and sent home. It's very simple. If you don't follow the rules, this is a one-year thing. Let's all be grown-ups here, and let's follow the rules. I'm confident the NFL will be fine. I don't think they'll miss a beat. And I think on September 10th or whatever it is, we will have a season, and that's going to have to get us through because who the hell knows what the conference ranks is. But, Clip, the last thing I'll say on this, and I want everyone that listens to this show to hear what I'm saying, your producers, everyone in Greenville, this is only temporary, okay? This is not forever. Someday at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, you will all be able to go back and you will all be able to root for your Pirates, and I hope you all pack it, and I hope you beat whoever you play. This is only temporary. It's not forever, folks.
All right, end it on a positive note, end it on a high note. Jeff, always enjoy it, man. We'll catch up with you later this week. Good luck with all your plays.
Thank you, Cliff.
All right, thanks, big man. Jeff Nadu joining us and telling you folks that, yes, we once again will be jumping around at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium at some point in the future. When might that be? I don't know. Hopefully soon. We'll talk about it coming up in just a little bit with the athletics director at East Carolina, John Gilbert. He joins us in hour number 3 of Pirate Radio Live. We'll take a timeout, come back, and be back with you after this.
Your CBD store is the largest CBD retailer in the country and has now sailed into Greenville for the Pirate Nation. Your CBD store has the highest quality, all-natural products with no chemicals. Stop in today and receive 15% off your first purchase with the code PIRATE. Your CBD store is located on Arlington Boulevard next to Duck Donuts. Your CBD store Greenville, where good health hits home. Remember, use the code PIRATE for 15% off your first purchase. Go Pirates!
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash on 10th Street is now open. The 10th Street location is offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes will be good at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and now on East 10th Street. And coming soon, Haviland Express Lube and Pirates Cove Car Wash in New Bern.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECUF.
You may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
Hey, this is Chef David Finelli. Did your doctor tell you that you need to lose weight and eat healthy? Well, mine did too. He just didn't tell me how. That's why I decided to open up Pop's Heart Healthy Meal Plans. You get 6 meals a week, low salt, low carbs, low fat, low cholesterol, high protein, and never frozen. I make them myself at the restaurant and you pick them up on Mondays. I have lost 53 pounds with this plan and lowered my A1C. It's gourmet healthy food at only $9.95 a meal, and you can order yours today at Pop's on Charles Boulevard behind Krispy Kreme. Let me help you eat healthy.
It's summertime, and there's no better time to drive away in a quality pre-owned car or truck from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer, specializing in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust in our team to improve your vehicle's off-road experience. Give us a call for more information, 252-364-8730. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
This is my new Shakaroni pizza. Extra cheese, extra pepperoni right to the edge, and the biggest slices in Papa John's history. But it's bigger than pizza, because $1 from each sale is donated to support communities.
Hey pizza fans, order the new Shakaroni pizza with double pepperoni and extra cheese loaded to the edge for only $12. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Atlantic Wireless, your local authorized U.S. cellular agent. Atlantic Wireless now offers home internet service. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find a store near you. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Hey, UBE, an ECU tradition for over 50 years. You can shop online anytime, anywhere at pirateware.com. UBE has the biggest and best selection of ECU sportswear and accessories for Pirates of all ages. Every day is game day at UBE. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Welcome back to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here in the Pirate Radio studios. Troy D. hanging out, and John Gilbert, ECU Athletics Director, who I believe was at UBE not too long ago, right, John?
Earlier today, I bought the neck gaiter with the brand pattern on it. It looks awesome.
Every cool item I have from UBE that I bought, Gilbert owns. A lot of times we wear it on the same day. Have you noticed? I purposely wore an orange shirt today so we wouldn't dress like twins. Because I have this shirt too, John.
I wonder if I can
touch the guest.
I wonder if I could be considered an influencer.
I think so.
Could I start?
What I was just going to say is you have good taste because the UBE has a wide range of shirts and they have some of the higher end material stuff. And me and you,
I model my wardrobe after he's my influence.
I wouldn't go that far. Maybe Don should pay me instead of me paying Don, when I go in there, if I can get the influencer title.
We need a cardboard cutout of you in UBE.
I do like the neck gaiter. The brand pattern neck gaiter. They sold out of those. They just got them back.
They have a few back now because I went in today and got one. Yeah, they're really nice,
especially for folks that don't want to lose a mask. It just stays around your neck. It's easy to
very
manage.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we got the wardrobe talk out of the way. We will talk actual real issues.
It was like our COVID uniform talk.
There you go.
Well, I'm just glad you're in the studio instead of behind the glass. I really like you being in the mix.
I am right here,
shaking it up with Clip Rock.
Shirley, let's get a timeout in. We will come back and have a lot to talk about with the athletics director at East Carolina University, John Gilbert. He's on the way in Hour 3. We're back on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, save over $9,000 off on the all-new 2020 Buick Envision. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Great news, amigos. Chico's Dine-In Service is back open every day. Come and enjoy favorites like shrimp tacos, steak and chicken fajitas, burritos, enchiladas, ACP, and more. Chico's is still offering to-go and curbside service as well by calling 757-1666. Don't forget to stock up on Chico's famous margarita mix for only $9.99 per half gallon. Follow Chico's on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's for dine-in or to-go.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a 2-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
There's nothing like Pirate Game Days.
He's got the ball. He starts right. He goes left, and there he goes. 10-5. Touchdown, Pirates. Home Steelers.
sight of a tailgate, the roar of the crowd. Support the Pirate Club and buy your season tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com. We're in this together. All hands on deck. One Pirate Nation.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com. Dinner's great. It's one of your top 3 favorite meals. You just don't want to have to make it. Well, with Jimmy John's, you don't have to. Whether you live in a sandwich delivery zone or head into the store, you can always get a freaky fresh sandwich. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
Hey, Pitt County Schools families, the month of August is here and school will certainly be different this year. If you are starting school 100% virtually or are attending school face-to-face on alternating weeks, we are looking forward to resuming the purpose of our system, and that's the education of the children in Pitt County in an excellent and a safe manner. For videos with our leaders, FAQs, and so much more information to answer your questions, visit our Road to Reopening page on our website at pittschools.org or keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Remember, we'll face this upcoming school year together because we are Pitt County Schools strong.
Are your workouts more fun than this? Well, if they are, then I want to sign you to an endorsement deal with Michelob Ultra. I'm looking for anyone and everyone who makes working out a blast. If that's you, head to teamultra.com for a chance to score awesome perks like Team Ultra gear and more. That's teamultra.com to enter.
No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus. See official rules at teamultra.com. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Atlantic Wireless, your local authorized U.S. cellular agent. Atlantic Wireless now offers home internet service. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find a store near you. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center of Greenville's new extended care clinic is now open Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for any urgent orthopedics care. For more information, call 757-2663 or visit orthoeast.com. Orthopedics East, providing services to Eastern North Carolina and the Pirate Nation for more than 35 years. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, welcome in. Hour number 3 of Pirate Radio Live on 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington, 1250, 930, PR927FM.com, and also you can watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Big Hour 3 on the way as the athletics director at East Carolina University, John Gilbert, joins us inside the new and improved Pirate Radio studios. Troy D hanging out as well. And John, long time no see. It's been about 5 hours, I guess.
Yeah, good to see you again.
I'd like to call this John Gilbert Day.
Yes.
Station, so.
And believe it or not, some things have changed. There's new news since you were on the Brian Bailey show, so things are ever changing today, right?
And you know, there's some good news today out of ECU. Our enrollment numbers look really good. Dr. Mitchelson and Grant Hayes, our provost, enrollment numbers are looking good on the first day. That's a big positive for campus and the community.
John, a lot of folks tuned in listening to you. Everyone wants to know, hey, is there going to be college football? And that, if you've been watching the news over the weekends, the headlines continue to ebb and flow on that and change, and it really depends what school and what conference and what the situation may or may not be. How frustrating is it to you to know, look, you can't answer that question. It's not even your decision. Yeah. It's going to come from the conference, or it's going to come from the school presidents. And where do you think the American Conference stands in this?
Well, I think everybody wants to play football. So our coaches want to play. Our student athletes want to play. It is a very complex issue. I do think it's going to be decided by presidents, chancellors, and conference officials, working in conjunction with one another. And again, everybody wants to, but the process of playing with the testing and contact tracing, it is very much going to resemble, if we do play football, it's going to very much resemble Major League Baseball. These student athletes, they're not in a bubble like the NBA, and so they're going to class. They're leaving the athletic footprint and going into town to restaurants and other places, and so there are going to be disruptions if we play.
Where does it stand financially? You've been very transparent about the issues East Carolina's had athletically with the finances. Where does it stand, worst case scenario, if there's no football? What does that mean financially to this program?
Well, it's going to be the opposite. You know the song "Mo Money, Mo Problems." This is going to be no money, a lot of problems. So
you got your Biggie reference in early.
This guy, don't sleep on John Gilbert with his music references.
So it is. It's not going to be good. Essentially, we'll have very little revenue coming in if we don't play. We've got a really good TV deal with ESPN. So obviously, I think if at the end of the day, if it gets pushed to the spring, we're not canceling anything. It would be a push to the spring, defer to the spring. I don't think that decision's going to be made for into the week first of next.
On that note, I know you've said countless times you want to play with fans if at all possible, and that would be fantastic. But how about the scenario where you can play football but you can't have fans? What does that mean economically compared to not having a season at all?
Well, it actually will be more expensive for us to play and not have fans, because we have the expense of putting on the game. We also have the expense of traveling. So when you go on the road, it's a small army that you travel with. To have the expenditure of all that with not all the revenue coming in, it will make it very difficult.
John, season ticket sales around 10,000, which I think is pretty good considering the times and the challenges that we are living in right now. A lot of those folks are probably tuned in right now, listening to you. Some of them have probably already made the decision, said, you know what, for the safety of themselves or their family, they're going to. I've talked to some of these folks that have bought tickets that are not going to attend in the event they could even be able to attend, and that's still yet to be decided too. Where are you on refund? If someone wants a refund now, do they need to wait? How does that work with season ticket holders specifically?
Well, number one, anybody that wants a refund, we're going to give it to them. No questions asked. We're going to welcome them back next year. We understand. So there'll be no issue on a refund. I really want to wait a little bit to see, how the dust settles. Obviously, we've lost Norfolk State, so we know from that standpoint we would have to refund that game. What I don't want to do is do one refund and then two and then three. I'd rather wait. We'll give the individuals the option. They can have a complete refund. They can push it to next year to count on their tickets for next year, or they could do a donation to the Pirate Club, and it really is up to each individual person. There'll be no pressure either way, whatever they do.
Do you envision, it's so hard to talk about fans in the stands right now with all the talk to just trying to get these games played. Is that truly the focus at this point? Just trying to get the games played and the fans are secondary?
Well, I think making sure that our players and staff are accommodated for from a protocol standpoint, that's the main priority, to making sure that, our student athletes feel like we are doing all the right things from a health and safety standpoint. And so I feel really good about our medical group. We've got Dr. Joe Arman, who's with Student Health. We have Vidant helping with testing. Obviously, we've got Brody right here. We're very fortunate at East Carolina for the medical staff that we have. Our athletic trainers are doing a phenomenal job. They're really the MVPs right now. So I feel really good about that. And to me, the priority is making sure that our student athletes, coaches, and staff feel like we're doing all the right things in that regard. If we do get a positive, which we've had some, we're going to quarantine. We're going to, isolate, identify close contact, and quarantine in those individuals as well.
I talked to Coach Houston last week, and I asked him, what happens if a player it's not the player, but the player's roommate or the player's girlfriend tests positive. And he said that they've got to quarantine, just as if they did have it. Even if they said they can't test out of it. Why the reasoning for that? Who came up with that policy? And that seems like all of a sudden the players kind of held liable for what they can't even control with people maybe that are just close to them, even though if they could stay away from them, if they did the girlfriend tested positive, they still get penalized for that.
Yeah. So the NCAA medical group led by Dr. Brian Hainline, his medical group, and it's a very large medical group for the NCAA, they've put these protocols in place. And so with the testing, the example I use is if we get tested on Wednesdays, results back Thursday morning for a Saturday game. If I'm the center and I test positive, you're the nose guard, you test negative. Because we've been in close contact all week, the nose guard's a close contact. Even though he tested negative, he's out for 14 days and cannot test out of the quarantine. So he's out for at least 2 weeks. The roommate is out for 2 weeks. And anybody else that they deem has been in a close contact with this individual during the period of time. I know a lot more about this than probably should, but if you're positive and I'm around you today, close contact, I find out tomorrow that you've tested positive, I can't immediately go. Not recommended for me to immediately go and get tested.
Supposed to wait a couple days.
I need to wait a couple days for that to process, and so we've had to deal with some of that. It is it's difficult to get your head around it, but it's something that every team is going to have to do.
And honestly, the worst case scenario could be if a coach ends up testing positive that's around, God forbid something happens to Coach Houston, and he's been around the players all the time. That could be the death knell of a program right there for at least this season.
It will be difficult. It really will put a lot of teams in an untenable position.
If we were talking about, is it more dangerous to play football if there were no students on campus? I would say, yeah, probably. You're interacting with other teams, you're getting on planes, but being that students are on campus, isn't it, if safety and COVID is the issue, isn't it safer to have them with a structure, with testing, with all these things in place, to have a football season, have a football team together, than it is to just let them go on campus?
Well, they have to go on campus to go to class and do all the normal things that students do. So they're still doing all those things. Really, we're testing to identify where they are, positive, negative, close contact, etc. We're not preventing it. So when they're around normal students or the general population, or when they leave the athletic campus, they are, they're out of.
They're on their own. But will those tests and everything continue if there's no season? What happens at that point?
No, at that point, I would say we're not going to test on a weekly basis. Would be my preference.
And if football doesn't happen, there's no sports are going to happen this fall.
Correct.
Is that fair? And I think another thing for people to understand, once again, we're talking to John Gilbert, East Carolina University Athletic Director, in studio with us, is the testing isn't free. This has been another line item on the budget that didn't even exist a little less than a year ago. That these tests don't just get done miraculously and pop out of the air. Every one of them has a charge, and that's a new charge for the athletic department that you can't cut corners on. You guys are doing the right thing. You have to do it, but it's just another expense that we have to spend with this department that you didn't have before when times are tight.
That's correct. Well, we're working through our insurance provider, but it's a real cost. It's $110 per test.
And how many tests do you estimate you're doing per week?
I think we've done around 650 total thus far.
So if you'd like to sponsor the COVID-19 test, sponsorships are available. I saw
it's a good idea.
Grady White did a great sponsorship. Maybe we could sign up another business to sponsor the test, perhaps.
That would be good.
Speaking of Grady White, let's talk a little positive news. That was a great announcement Friday. Largest gift in the history of ECU athletics was the way it was worded. I guess one-time gift. I know some people that cumulatively may be close. I don't know how y'all, but as far as a lump sum one-time gift, the largest gift ever, which happened, I thought, before, not too long ago, there was the largest gift ever. So this, I think, is like 2 in a couple years here.
Yeah.
Let's get into that a little bit. That cannot be used for debt, though. That was to be used for a new project. You talked about it, basically a new weight room going to be able to be built on campus now thanks to this funding.
Well, I'm really grateful for both Grady White and Eddie Smith. I know that obviously Grady White Boats is a prominent business in this town, large employer. Their boats speak for themselves, world-renowned fishing boat. But the thing that has impressed me the most is the relationship that I've developed with Eddie, the type of person that he is. I know that he cares about this community. He loves living here. When I first moved here, I met him pretty quickly after I'd been here, and he talked about how great it was to live here in Eastern North Carolina, like what this community really meant to him personally. And so he and Grady White and his late wife have been very, very generous to ECU athletics. They've been generous donors to this community. Obviously, they've got their name at the hospital, Pitt Community College. I'm probably missing a few things. Eddie and Grady White care about this community, and I'm really thankful that they would make an investment like this during this time. Just means a lot.
Yeah, a very generous gift, and honestly, Eddie's not an East Carolina guy. He's not East Carolina alum, but he is a Greenville, Eastern North Carolina guy. So I think you see that.
He really does care about ECU. I mean, obviously when
I said East Carolina, I mean he's not East Carolina alum.
Right.
But he does have a fond feeling, towards the Pirates.
He does. He really sees the value in this institution and knows that, as this institution goes, this community goes as well. He recognizes that.
John Gilbert joining us live in studio here on PRL as we talk the state of athletics and the world, and especially here locally in Greenville. John, we talked about a lot of the stories that you're seeing nationally are these athletes that are opting out of their wanting to play, specifically football. Here it seems like our athletes want to opt in. Everyone I talk to, and you just mentioned earlier, wants to play. If there is a divide, and right now there seems to be some questions with the Big Ten, who wants to play, who doesn't want to play, there's a little power struggle going on there. Even if the Big Ten decides that they're not playing football, should that affect East Carolina in the American Conference? Maybe that's an opportunity for the American Conference to say, we're still going to play and we're going to have a bigger spotlight if more teams aren't playing.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, one that we're all going to get to see play out live in living color. And I've mentioned before, the presidents and chancellors will decide this, not football coaches, not athletic directors, not student athletes. It's going to be presidents and chancellors. And presidents and chancellors, no matter what conference they're in, they're going to be looking to their peers, and they're going to be talking to their peers about, do we play? What are the issues? Can we make this work? It's going to be interesting to watch.
If there is football, and we're talking about teams and conferences opting out, there's also an option for players to opt out if they choose to do so. And I've seen news not only from the NCAA, but the AAC itself talk about what the players can still have if they choose to opt out.
That's right. And so student athletes can opt out. I was in front of our football team last week, I think it was last Thursday maybe, and talked about they can opt out if they choose. Their scholarship will still be covered. There'll still be opportunity to rejoin the following year. We still would provide them academic support to make sure that they're doing all of the things they need to do from an academic standpoint. So that's out there. You've seen some people taking advantage of it, not take advantage, but, use that they felt like opting out was the best scenario for them. And I told our football team if they choose to do that, we support them 100% and we'll move forward.
John, as you know, we had our challenges before this pandemic hit, and this hasn't made things any easier. I think it's well documented. This has only made it more difficult. But what about, we're not the only school in the conference that's feeling it, that's hurting right now. What about the conference? Do they have any funds? Is there money available at the conference level that they could help supplement universities like East Carolina that are part of the conference? Say, hey, look, we know these are extraordinary times, and due to that, we're going to give you an extra few $1 million here to help out, especially this year.
Well, not to the level that, certainly the conference office has a reserve fund, but that reserve fund is not going to be something where, they can give each school multiple millions and still operate. So I don't necessarily see that happening. I think institutions are going to be, left to themselves to determine how they fund themselves going forward.
We had a question on Facebook Live, and it was addressed to me from Josh. It said, could you imagine a home football, baseball, and basketball game all on the same day in the spring? And for Josh, that's a great day of Pirate athletics. For me, it might be busy. For us covering the teams, it'll be a busy day. For you, John, is that a great day for Pirate Nation, or is that a nightmare for staffing and everything that would go with it?
It is difficult from a staffing standpoint. So I think if it goes to spring, I think you'll see modified schedules all the way across the board. Mm-hmm. And I also think it's not getting much play or much discussion. If we have to move to a spring football season, I don't think you can really talk about that without talking about the fall as well.
Right.
I don't see a fall-spring schedule, and then all of a sudden we're going to, 1st of August, have fall camp and play another 12 games.
You can't do 12 and 12.
You cannot. And so I think that if it goes to the spring, I think we need to pause and have some really good discussion about what the fall would look like, because I certainly think that is a big component of where we're going. And I really do believe, we talked about it earlier, if we move to the spring, we're either, in order to play sports, we have to have one or two things happen. This is John Gilbert's opinion. We either have to have a vaccine, or we have to have some sort of mitigating health circumstance that would allow us to play. Whatever that is. I'm not saying it's a cure, but their treatment in place to allow us to continue what we're doing.
Got another Facebook question for you. This is from one John to another. This is John Moody weighing in. He heard our refund exchange earlier as far as how that would work for fans in the event that's needed. Want to know if he had bought 4 tickets, 2 of his folks in his family might be considered high risk, but he wants to keep 2 of his tickets. Could a refund be done? Because you do buy seat by seat. Could he refund 2 of the tickets and keep 2 tickets?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to make it convenient for our fan base. This is going to be something we're going to communicate. We're going to give them multiple options. They're going to be able to pick whatever they choose. It's tough out there financially for everyone, and we understand that. It's going to be tough for us. We want people to hang in there with us. If they need a refund, we're going to refund them. We're going to do whatever's best for them.
Kurt also asking online, in the worst case scenario, if football's not played, what does that mean for the future of basketball this season and really coming up for the spring?
Well, I do think if the fall football season is pushed to the spring, it's going to give us time to have a discussion about what the other sports look like. But as mentioned earlier, I don't anticipate us playing anything in the spring. If we're pushed to the spring for football, I don't imagine us playing anything in the spring unless there is some treatment or some vaccine.
You knew, I imagine you knew this would be a challenging job coming in here, at least after you were here for a year. You knew how challenging it was. Did you ever have any idea it would be this challenging? And what is your day-to-day like, and what is your sleep like right now?
Well, my sleep has not been good for a long time, so that is it's still the same. I have no trouble falling asleep. It's staying asleep. That's the
Is your mind racing at night, just thinking about what we should do here?
If I wake up in the middle of the night, I first start thinking about all the things that I need to be thinking about and doing. And so, I love living here. My family really likes it here. We love Greenville. We love Eastern North Carolina and all that it has to offer. That's been really good. The campus, Chancellor Mitchelson, the university has been great to work with. Like, I feel like we are very much aligned, and not all places have that. Like, we are really fortunate in that regard. Athletics is fortunate. I'm fortunate that we're aligned with campus. We've got a good flow of communication, and I talk things through with him. But it is difficult. It's difficult for campus right now, and it's difficult for athletics. We're going to get through it together, but there's still some rough seas to manage.
John Gilbert joining us here inside the Pirate Radio studios. We'll take a timeout, come back, and have more with the AD at East Carolina, and more to go in hour number 3 of Pirate Radio Live. Back with you after this.
When you can take your eye off a big pizza pie, that's Familia.
Take a break from your dining room table and bring the family to Familia for lunch or dinner. Familia offers favorites like New York-style pizza, lasagna, chicken parmesan, chicken marsala, homemade meatballs, plus summer specials like mahi fish and chips, and steak pizzaola. If you need food to go, Familia's drive-thru window is open and ready for all takeout orders. Call 689-6330. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience, with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips, and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
Back to school is here, and the Auto Store Group is committed to helping our customers drive the best quality pre-owned vehicles and is committed to caring about our kids and our community. This is Bryce Williams from the Auto Store Group, and right now during our Backpack to School event, every time we sell a vehicle, we'll be making a $50 donation to any local school that the customer chooses. The Auto Store Group, 3 locations, over 150 vehicles online at theautostoregroup.com, and most importantly, proud members of the Eastern North Carolina community for over 38 years.
Introducing new Domino's Carside Delivery. Now when you carry out, you don't even need to leave your car. So you don't have to interrupt your favorite song.
It's time to drive down to the rock show.
Or interrupt your kid's favorite song.
We'll be friends just for one day.
You can interrupt this, actually.
Try Domino's Carside Delivery when you carry out 3 topping pizzas for $7.99 each, and we'll carry out your order to your car contact-free. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes XL and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size. Message and data rates may apply when using Domino's Carside Delivery.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685842. Equal housing lender.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs of Greenville. Right now, for a special time, Sparky Snowballs is open every day from noon to 8 in the Food Truck Rodeo on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Stop by for a delicious icy treat. Plus, did you know Sparky's also has funnel cakes and fried Oreos too? Support your local Food Truck Rodeo every day from noon to 8 on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Sparky Snowballs, serving delicious icy treats to smiling faces for over 20 years. Visit Sparky's on Facebook or SparkySnowballs.com.
In studio with Bram from Tiebreakers. Bram, what's new?
Delivery's new.
What else?
Well, delivery.
What else you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about tiebreakersnc.com, and let's talk about how good our food is at home in our delivery containers.
What makes delivery special at Tiebreakers?
Well, we use a very, very new technology called crisp containers that keeps your French fries absent at Tiebreakers.
How do they get delivered?
By us, our delivery drivers.
How much it cost?
Oh, right now it's nothing.
How do people do it?
They call Tiebreakers at 252-439-0555 or tiebreakersnc.com.
Bram, what else is new?
Delivery, bud. I'm telling you, it's the newest thing in the world. Delivery from Tiebreakers.
Bram, what's your favorite word right now?
Jonathan, is delivery, bud. Delivery. I'm telling you, delivery is the word. This is going to be fun.
Pirate Radio.
ECU Pirates. Can't nobody do what we do. You know. That's right. All right then.
Yeah! The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Atlantic Wireless, your local authorized U.S. cellular agent. Atlantic Wireless now offers home internet service. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find a store near you. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Taking a look at your stock market report. The Dow was up 357 points and closed at 27,791. The NASDAQ was down 42 at 10,968. And the S&P is up 9 points at 3,360. And that is your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. And Clip, as we are coming back into break, just saw a tweet from Brett McMurphy just moments ago that the Mountain West has canceled fall football season because of COVID, player health, and safety concerns, and they are going to consider playing in the spring.
All righty. I still think this could be a huge advantage if the American's the only conference to play. We could have a national spotlight, but we'll have to get there first. All right, welcome back. Good to be here with Clip Rock. I'm Troy D., the ECU Athletic Director, John Gilbert, with us. And John, thanks again for your time today, coming on not once but twice. And I really appreciate your transparency with everything throughout this whole process. I think a lot of times, we've dealt with folks for years, and it's not always like that. So let me just thank you on behalf of the Pirate Nation.
You also don't just say what everybody wants to hear. You can kind of say it how it is.
And I'm not just talking about on this show or on our station, what you do online with the, from the helm, I believe it's called. And, just your efforts to try and be as transparent as possible is not lost on Pirate Nation. So we appreciate that. I wanted to read a couple quotes to you and just get your feedback on this, because the first one is from a colleague of yours in the same position you have at UCF, Danny White. He's athletic director there. He said, this was just a few days ago. He was quoted as saying this, quote, "I wish we were more coordinated in college football, that we had better communication. The last month has probably shown we need to get more organized nationally in college football. The lack of communication across the board has been challenging for people to make decisions." That was from Danny White. Now, this is from was on Yahoo Sports today. This is from a high-ranking Power 5 school official. He did not want to give his name, but he said, quote, "College athletics is a multi-billion-dollar business in the world with no leadership structure or decision-making apparatus, and it's been catastrophically exposed. I'm embarrassed to have been a part of this exercise in failed leadership." John, you deal with this all the time. This is a big picture question in the world of college football. It does seem to be a dysfunctional leadership structure, pattern, however you want to word it. Is this the moment where things could get fixed? And if you do fix it, how do you fix it?
Well, it is a mess. I do think that we are not all aligned. If you look at what the Big Ten, they kind of jumped out there, did their own thing, and then every other league was looking at, what do we do and how do we do it? And so we're not aligned. I think the only way to get alignment would be to hire a football type commissioner or a basketball type commissioner for Division I athletics to navigate that. Now, in order to do that, these conference commissioners would be giving up authority, so to speak. So I'm not sure that's a realistic thing. The NCAA doesn't govern college football like they do other sports, and so I think if they all were to have a football type commissioner to help resolve some of these issues, or even the football commissioner plus some of the conference commissioners, I think that would be extremely helpful, because we're not aligned, and I think it has really shown over the last several months.
For folks that have tuned in late, you mentioned earlier in the program that you're going to be talking with the commissioner of the American Conference, and you feel in the next week or so that a decision will be made with the American as far as what, from the top down, as far as what their policy is going to be. How could that happen sooner than a week?
Well, the conference at this point is planning on playing. Like the last discussion we all had was we're moving forward. Now, as I'm not naive to the news, and partly speculation on my part, but as more of these leagues that cancel for the fall and move to the spring, these presidents are looking at these other presidents in these other leagues, and that's who they're talking to. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch, but at this point, we're planning on playing football.
At your last discussion meeting, was there any talk of the Big Ten doing what it looks like they're going to do, or the MAC, or anybody?
No
idea.
No discussion. So every league is operating independently, and we really ought to be working together.
Yeah.
But you have opinions, from both extremes. Some people think, we should shut down tomorrow, and other people think, hey, let's play and move forward, and everything in between. So there is no consensus.
For folks that don't know, the official start of school for East Carolina University was today, so everybody's back. If you've driven around anywhere, at least downtown Greenville, you can tell students are back. You really could feel it today on the streets with the traffic. Where are we, John, with, on the good news is, I guess, there have been some positive results back with students and possibly administrators. The good news is most of those have been asymptomatic for the most part, that there's no one that has been severely sick, from my understanding, that has tested positive. Is that fair?
Not fair.
Not fair. There have been some folks, student athletes, that have been really sick once they test positive.
Well, I don't want to get into any specific what their health status was. Obviously, we've done a number of tests. We've had a number of positives, and just like everyone else, we've had the spectrum. We've had the spectrum of asymptomatic to we've had individuals that clearly have symptoms.
But some of them, I should say, have come back as surprised that they came back as positive. They had no idea that.
Well, certainly the asymptomatic people that have had that have said, "Hey, I don't feel anything."
Where are we right now with that as a department, specifically with football?
We're in pretty good shape, departmentally. I think right off the top of my head, I'm ballparking this number. I would say we have approximately 20 to 25 positives across the board, not specific to one coaching staff, one student athlete, one staffing area, just a general number.
I remember when East Carolina made the move to go into, at the time it was the Big East for a year, and then it became the American by the time the Pirates got in there. I remember talking at the time with Chancellor Ballard, and he's like, look, I oversee the university, but I'm spending 90 to 95% of my time on this conference realignment stuff. And for him, he's like, it's what we need to do, but I'm neglecting the rest of my duties at the university because I'm spending so much time on conference realignment and trying to help ECU get into that new conference. My question for you is, how much time are you spending focused on this coronavirus situation versus what you would normally be doing as an athletic director?
Yeah, the majority of my time is spent on that, and really has been, that and obviously our financial issues since middle of March, since the basketball tournament. It has been financial, and COVID is really all that I've been dealing with. Trying, and they go hand in hand.
Yeah. And they're both important, but it has limited you in your other duties as athletic director.
Yes, very much so. I haven't probably been as external as I need to be, and part of that is COVID and where we are.
Looks like there will be some meetings, Big Ten, apparently Pac-12 as well, coming up on Tuesday. Shirley had mentioned the Mountain West News. They cancel fall football season because of COVID player health and safety concerns. So a lot of breaking news every hour, it seems, these days, Troy D. And I saw, and sometimes you don't know what's news and what somebody might have overheard and just threw out there in a tweet, but a possibility of the SEC reaching out to Big 12 and ACC teams to say, hey, come play with us for a year. Let's make a super conference just for 1 year. How likely is anything like that? And what would the AAC, what would Mike Oresco say to John Gilbert if you said, hey, Mike, we're going to go to the SEC for a year. We'll be back next year. How would that go?
Well, all of that is like posturing and talk. There's no, I mean, we're 2 minutes ago we were talking about how unaligned we were.
Right.
There's not a school that is going to leave their league to go play for another league. The complications of exit fee, TV dollars. It just is a multitude of issues that is not going to happen.
Not possible.
Yeah. Clip, I really like you in the studio now. I mean, Shirley does a excellent job behind the glass. Shirley, you're doing really well back there.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here,
Clip. I'm really happy.
He doesn't make you nervous, John?
No, I like
a calming presence. I like to think.
But he's got this underlying energy. I like. It's
really
he's
below the surface.
Wow.
It's this below the surface energy. I feel like you're prepared and ready to ask the next question.
I'm not. I'm out of questions.
Ask it.
Oh man, are you going to join us more if there's no sports? Since you'll have less to do, you can come hang out with us.
Well, we're gonna have to figure out content. I'm positive. Like I do think, look, this is tough on everyone's mental health. We all want sports. We all want the couple hours to be able to watch our favorite team play, to kind of let our mind drift a little bit to all the other issues we're dealing with. So it's important, and I know that we're going to get through this. It may take a little more time, but we will overcome it.
And John, we were talking before the show, and I'm kind of worried about that for a lot of folks. We get into the weeds. We're involved in the covering the program from the inside out, and we probably dive in more than the average fan. The average fan comes to a game on Saturday, just wants to have fun with their family, or just wants to be a college student and pull for their university. That's a lot of people's escape, that Saturday, that football Saturday. If that gets taken away because of this COVID deal, I think there's going to be a lot of folks that are seriously, this is their escape, this is what they do, this is their hobby, that are going to be depressed over it. I mean, it's going to be some real mental health challenges because it's been a tough year already, but a lot of people I talk to is the only thing they have to look forward to is football.
No, I agree. I think that definitely will happen. That's why if it does happen, I would propose we could do like a Greenville celebrity sporting events, maybe like softball, bowling, the flag football,
MTV Rock and Jock games.
Yeah. I think
where your head's at.
I think we could promote it and have captains where now kickball, all those. Now, I hate to pick on them, but there's going to be some guy out there that's going to be the last pick, and in my mind, I kind of know who that is.
Yeah, he works at another station. We know who he is too.
I'm not, but we got to be careful of last picks. Having taught PE in high school, I know that when you get to the last pick, you group people together, so the one person isn't necessarily the last pick.
Those depressed people Troy was just talking about are even more depressed just hearing about this idea. Unfortunately, I think.
But we do want to play. We're going to do everything we can to get there. We're just going to have to work with capacity. We haven't talked about that. One of the things that I've talked to the chancellor about is number one, getting with local health officials, talking about our plan, finding out what they're comfortable with from a capacity standpoint, and then kind of working backwards to make our plan.
You guys have worked through the furloughs that you announced earlier this summer. Is that done, or could that happen again, I guess?
Well, it certainly could happen again, depending on what the fall looks like. If we don't play fall sports, I would say that we're going to have to look at that again as one of our measures, just because there'll be very little incoming revenue.
And you offered, if I remember correctly, to take was it a 20% cut? Did they accept that?
Yes, they did.
So you're on a 20% cut right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time an administrator said, I'll take less money. So, and you weren't forced to, were you?
No, I was not. No, I there was something that I decided. I did not. It really is probably a little bit more than that, because I did not take any bonuses this year, plus the 20% for a year moving forward. But I feel like it's the right thing to do, and I knew looking ahead as to what would be coming that I needed to do that, and I feel like it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, Jim Harbaugh put out a statement today and hashtag we want to coach, and they're flashing up. We're watching ESPN2 College Football Live. They're flashing up all the coaches' statements. James Franklin, Ryan Day. Earlier today, Scott Frost said Nebraska's going to play football this fall, and it sounds awesome. Let's go, coach, but I don't know how much a say he has in it. How much does this influence anything at all, John, in your opinion? Is it even a splash in the ocean, do you think?
I think very little influence, because if you went, I don't want to say every locker room because that would be presumptuous, but if you went to every locker room, most all of the student athletes are saying 100% we want to play.
Right.
But then you also have this component of, hey, we really do want to play, but we also realize, hey, student athletes are concerned about COVID, and so we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can, testing, wear a mask, wash your hands, hand sanitizers throughout the building. But they have to do some of that on their own, because we're not with them all the time. And so we're not eliminating risk. We're just trying to mitigate it so that we can all do what we love to do. So there's still underlying issues that everybody wants to play. No one has questioned, in my mind, every coach wants to coach and every player wants to play, unless there is a condition where they choose to opt out. And I would say those individuals that are opting out because they have a medical condition, they should be doing that.
And John, a lot of fans want to come out and see this. Not everybody wants to opt out, even as a fan. As you know, we're in phase 2 in the state. Unless the governor, and we talked to Coach Houston about this, goes to phase 3, the state has a regulation right now. You can't have more than 25 people in the stands anyway.
That's right.
So really, if the state never moves to phase 3, that rules out fans in the stands for the most part. What about if somehow you can play these games still on the field with no fans in the stands? I guess that tailgating is pretty much over too then, right?
Absolutely.
Then what would happen if you can have a limited number of fans in the stands? Would tailgating even be allowed?
I would think we could allow it depending on the number of groups. It would get into something that, again, we'd work with local health officials to determine, but it may be something we have to police, where groups are no more than 5, 10, whatever.
Is that kind of further down the list right now to worry about?
That is way down.
That would be a great problem to have.
Yes.
I would say that means we're playing games if you get to worry about how many people are tailgating.
Tailgating is down on my list. I'm more concerned right now about making sure our student athletes and coaches are taken care of, our protocols in place, and then working towards having fans in the stands.
We'll get our final break in. I mean, it's a shame Ronnie Woodward was here earlier. We did talk about the scrimmage for maybe 8 to 10 minutes, but it's like there's such a big dark cloud. Do you even focus on what happened Saturday at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium?
Well, I was there. I was impressed by a lot of things.
All right, we'll have 2 minutes to get your insight on ECU scrimmage on Saturday.
You're one of the only people that saw it.
That's true. Back to wrap it up with John Gilbert after this.
Have you heard the news? Villa Verde is now available for dining in. That's right, both locations of Villa Verde are back open on the inside. And on top of that, the original location on 10th Street has been completely remodeled. But if you prefer curbside or takeout, that is still going strong too. Don't forget the Villa Verde family meal deals are a great way to feed your entire family at an affordable price.
This is Jay from Villa Verde, and we look forward to seeing you at one of our locations soon. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
North Carolina state parks are now open for visitors. Parks should be used for exercise, fresh air, getting out in nature, or a day trip as the state safely reopens. Visitors should enjoy themselves, but please remember the 3 W's. Wear face coverings, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. Focus on moving through the park, keep social distancing in mind, and avoid large groups. While most facilities and activities will be open, please contact any state park before your visit with questions or visit ncparks.gov/open.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash on 10th Street is now open. The 10th Street location is offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes will be good at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and now on East 10th Street. And coming soon, Haviland Express Lube and Pirates Cove Car Wash in New Bern.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
The Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called Greener Pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at qualityequip.com.
This is Sam Jones inviting you to join us for lunch, dinner, or takeout at Sam Jones Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out fresh food cooked over wood every single day. That's our Eastern North Carolina whole hog barbecue, slow-cooked chicken, smoked turkey, and spare ribs. There are no freezers here. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I'll bet you'll be able to taste the difference in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Looking for your next career opportunity or even just some extra cash to help pay for school? Your locally owned Dixon Foods McDonald's is hiring across Eastern North Carolina. They offer flexible hours, competitive pay, and even financial support to pursue your education through McDonald's Archways to Opportunity program. With plans to provide more than 100 new jobs currently, we hope you'll visit DixonFoods.com to learn more. Dixon Foods, proud to be your locally owned and locally operated franchisee for McDonald's.
East Carolina's football team is working its way back to campus, and the Pirates are preparing for their scheduled August 29th season opener against Marshall. We've got you covered on hoistthecolors.net with the latest team scoop and daily information as the football team draws closer to its first game. We've also got the latest on the Pirates' top recruiting targets for the 2021 class. New members can sign up now and get their first month of VIP coverage for a single $1. hoistthecolors.net, the most reliable reporting on ECU athletics.
This is ECU Assistant Football Coach Roy Tesh, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Atlantic Wireless, your local authorized U.S. cellular agent. Atlantic Wireless now offers home internet service. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find a store near you. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. And hey, Pirate fans, if you're hungry for the best ECU news and information, then you need to be part of the Pirate Radio digital platforms. Keep up with the latest breaking news and information by liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter and Instagram at PR927FM. Listen live and to all of our archive programming anytime by visiting PR927FM.com. Stay connected beyond your radio dial with all of the Pirate Radio digital platforms. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right. Thank you very much, Shirley Rhodes. We're here with you every weekday, 3 to 6 here on Pirate Radio Live. Coming up on Tuesday, we will talk a lot more ECU football and other topics with Stephen Igo, Hoist the Colors. Also, what's going on with local area high school football. Aiden Grifton head coach Todd Lipe will join us in studio as well coming up on Tuesday, as those guys have been working Troy D, and like we said earlier, they don't know what they're working towards exactly right now.
Former coach at Rose.
That's right, Todd Lipe. At first-year head coach Paul Cornwell, of course, has been there forever, taking over the Aiden Grifton program, and we'll see what he has to say about it.
And that's one of the things that's kind of been overshadowed right now is the high school programs, guys, because if college doesn't play, it's going to open the door for them to shut down the high schools, I think.
And already a lot of talking. I think it'd be easier in high school than it would at college to play in the spring, but I think they might already be kicking around that idea or playing later in the calendar year. But wrapping up here with John Gilbert, we mentioned it before the break, so before we let you go, for folks that want to know about Pirate football, give us a scouting report on what you saw on Saturday.
Well, I really was pleased with the way the energy that the defensive side of the ball had. Obviously, we've got some returners that I think have developed and gotten bigger, faster, stronger. We had a lot of young guys that got a lot of snaps, but I was really impressed with the energy on the sideline, the energy on the field. We're going to be a lot better on the defensive side of the ball. Typically this time of year, it takes offense a little time to completely gel. But I really was encouraged about the defensive side of the ball.
Blake Harrell was due a good day, Troy D.
He finally got to see the guys in the scrimmage.
I bet he was smiling ear to ear on Saturday.
And unfortunately, we're out of time. But next time you're back, John, we'll have to play a new round of Get to Know John Gilbert. We always learn new things about you.
Yeah,
so we got new questions to ask you next time. So we'll do we had a lot of serious stuff to cover, but hopefully next time maybe we can carve out a couple minutes.
That'd be great. I look forward to it.
John, great to see you. If you want to hear more of John, just stay here. The Brian Bailey Show re-airing coming up right now.
Which show was better, by the way? Do you like me and Clip or Bailey?
I'm going to let y'all go to break.
No, come on, be honest.
I was part of both of them, so he enjoyed them both equally.
I like them both.
Yeah. That's on the way. We'll see you Tuesday, 3 o'clock for an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. For Shirley Rhodes, Glenn Griffin, Troy D, John Gilbert, I'm Clip Brock. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive